You're probably wondering why I was muted just now. Let's take a walk. See, there's a few things that I'm going to need to do here. First, I'm going to need to walk like I am a presidential candidate in the West Wing. I need the camera to go behind, go backwards while I walk. Now I need Ethan to walk up next to me and hand me a paper and tell me something very important, but you can't hear that. Okay, thank you. We're about to start the show, and this is how we look important doing so. This is one of the newer things that we're doing, is we're doing a walk and talk. This is called a moving shot, Brad. And the reason for that is because you're moving. I'm moving. There's a lot of industry terms that are way above everybody's heads. This is one that is not. A moving shot is simply a moving shot.
Do the pre-show.
Here's what we have on the show today. At 12:25, I'm wearing a lapel mic. At 12:25, we're going to open things up to, you. You are going to be the star of the show at 12:25 because the phone lines are going to be open.
Think about giving them 12:45.
Nope. 12:45 is where you kind of fade into the background and I step into the forefront and you listen to me. So that's Wiggins America, and today it's an important one too. It is about things that you may have given up because of inflation. One of the things that you've probably figured out from listening to me regularly is that I am highly compassionate and I care about what you're going through. I don't need the limelight. I want to focus on you. So in that segment, I'm going to take the limelight so that we can focus on you. In the next segment right after that, 105, Deroy Murdock is going to be on the show. You may have heard him on things like the Annie Frey Show previously, also Fox News. He is going to be talking about the upside down immigration system, which part of that you probably already know, but here's what you don't. We are rolling out the red carpet for illegals while booting skilled workers. I am interested to hear about the skilled workers part because that would be stupid to do, which means that we're probably doing it. That's the end of this part, unless you want to move more, Brad.
No.
It's up to you.
No, I'm good.
Okay, so this is where we sweep. We do maybe like a star wipe into the show.
Do it.
Go ahead, Brad.
No,
I don't know what a star wipe is.
Okay, all right. I'll just show you what it should look like. And then you transition. I'm no longer on the screen.
On Olive, west of I-270 in the plaza with Subway, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerberg's.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. You deserve comfort in your life. Come in for your free test walk today.
Rick Springfield's I Want My 80s Tour. Starring Rick Springfield, The Hooters, Paul Young, and Tommy Tutto. This Tuesday night at St. Louis Music Park. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. I Want My 80s Tour. Brought to you by Beach Bar Rum.
The New York Times calls BritBox the best of British telly. Stream brilliant series you can only find on BritBox. Unlock acclaimed favourites like Vera and Stonehouse, plus the upcoming original drama Archie, the story of Cary Grant. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service and Environmental Resources. At Hansen's, we manufacture a full line of garden and landscape products that are perfect for your outdoor project. Pick up any of our products at World Outdoor Emporium, Kirkwood Materials, or a Hansen's location near you.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
It's going to be an exciting debate. We're all getting prepared for it.
If you think the truth matters, the truth needs to have a truth teller to be out on the stage and bringing it.
One of my goals in that debate is for the American people, Republican primary voters, to get to know me.
My job is to be on there and speak the truth.
I'm going to make the case that under Joe Biden, this country is in decline.
We've got to focus on telling our story.
We're going to continue to do what we have been doing.
I think it's a great opportunity for Americans to start focusing on who's going to lead us after 2024.
A little montage. Everyone likes a great montage, right, Ryan Wiggins?
Heck yeah.
In
Set
the
to
industry.
some sweet fight music. It's awesome.
We forgot the fight music.
Yeah, we forgot that part. Sorry.
Next time we do it, we'll have you rumble in the background.
Okay.
I like how Chris Christie ends it with this little extra emphasis and bring it. And it makes me think, yeah, that's what you need to do. You need to go onto the debate stage and you need to bring it. And I am simultaneously made to be excited about the event and thinking, these are nerds.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, like, what does it look like to be a very wealthy and successful individual who goes up on a stage to make the case to America? You need me. I'm the one. I'm the guy, I'm the girl. I'm the person that you need because Joe Biden is a friggin' dumpster fire. You need to elect me. I'm your person. You have to be able to relate to people. But one thing Donald Trump never did when he was running for president is try to pretend to be like you because he's not. There are things that are similar to you and Donald Trump, but Donald Trump is wildly successful in the United States of America. And he is what many people aspire to be when it comes to financial wealth. And then, of course, the reason why he was, air quotes, incompatible with the Republican Party is because the Republican Party, up until Donald Trump, like the Kool-Aid man, ran through the brick wall that the Democrats had constructed between Democrats and Republicans. The Democrats were always in a position to make sure that they were there to define what the Republican Party was, and you had to get through that brick wall in order to be successful. You had to be a successful white business entrepreneur, church-going, golden retriever owning. Can we still say you own your dogs? You do.
Yeah, you own your dogs.
I felt a little dirty saying that.
I bet you do. It's okay.
If you don't, then you're irresponsible.
Yeah, if you don't. Yeah, what are you going to do? Not own your dog?
You have to be this person who takes your campaign pictures in a wheat field with your jeans and your button-up plaid polo on with your golden retriever and your 3.5 children standing next to you and a tractor in the background. And if it's red or green, you don't know what that means. You're not one of them anymore when it comes time to run for office. And that's fine. What Donald Trump said is, you don't have to be. That's not what America is. America isn't farmers. America isn't small business owners. America isn't accountants in offices sitting in downtown St. Louis somewhere. America isn't golden retrievers. America is whatever you want that picture to look like for you. And Donald Trump wants his picture to be plated in gold. That's just the way it is. And Donald Trump don't care. if you think that's gaudy, because he doesn't care what you think about him. That was the Donald Trump Kool-Aid man entrance into the 2016 campaign election that no one saw coming. His Kool-Aid was red, of course, and it shook up the whole game. That hole has been left in the wall constructed by the Democrats, and they still don't understand how it got there, which is good. It's an advantage to the Republicans because that hole created an opening for other people to peek in and go, what's in there? Why do those people seem kind of uncomfortably content with their existence? Why aren't they angry? Don't they feel bad about who they are? Aren't they looking over here and comparing themselves to us and feeling shame or guilt? Why do they look peaceful? And more people's eyes started to observe the Republican Party in a way that they never had before. So any Republican debate, we haven't had this instance that's going to take place tonight. We haven't had this debate since Donald Trump was on the stage. It didn't happen in 2020. It shouldn't have happened in 2020. Donald Trump was the incumbent. The debate absolutely should happen this time. Donald Trump absolutely has every right to say, I'll participate or I won't participate. But who the Republican Party is today versus who they were before Donald Trump ran through the brick wall to try to get the country back on track, it is a very, very different existence. There is a man who has captured the attention of the entire country. I would have to say, looking at the number of downloads, it's probably bigger than just the United States. I think it's a global sensation. His name's Oliver Anthony. I'm going to play the song here in a second. So many of you have asked me to play this song. I have been getting sent this song for, what has it been, like 10 days now?
Something like that.
I saw he's making $44,000 a day on YouTube in a report.
Oh, good for him.
Yes, I almost said a bad word.
Darn right,
yeah,
Ryan.
You're darn tootin'. Absolutely. He's getting offers from big labels, and he's like, nah.
That's awesome.
I'll take the 60%, 70% that YouTube lets me keep.
Yeah.
He writes this song called Richmond North of Richmond, and it's about the people who are running the show. It is not about Democrats. Democrats are trying to make it about Republicans because they woke up this morning. So that's just kind of the nature of what they do. And when this guy, the funny thing to me is that the things that if you were developing some sort of professional music video shoot, you probably wouldn't have like the car that you just got out of just like right over there in the background. You'd probably have a pretty cool looking mic, maybe a vintage looking mic, but it wouldn't be a stand with an arm and a microphone up like that. You'd probably try to find something with an epic background. This guy looks like he went into his yard and sang this song straight from, yes, his heart, but I think his gut. The most impactful thing I've consumed from this song so far on YouTube are the compilation reaction videos of every walk of life. Listening to this song and going, oh man, this is a great song. This is fantastic. They're all into it. And by the end of the song, they have tears in their eyes. They're sad. And the reason they're sad is because there's something in this song that while it is a very well composed song that's catchy, that has, you could write the greatest poem ever, but if you don't sing it to a tune that's going to catch people's ears, it's not going to have this type of wildfire exposure. Oliver Anthony isn't singing to people, he's singing for people. And people hate him for it because he's doing something that isn't labeled red or blue. You can't take the words that I'm about to play for you here and go, oh, these Republicans today. Because he's actually probably as dead center as you can be politically when it comes to the real us and them division that exists in this country today. The people who make the decisions and the people who have to abide by them. following the news reports, following everything that's coming out right now about what might be coming with COVID, what might be coming with shutdowns or vax and this, that, and the other thing. Man, this is a song. People are calling it an anthem. It's not an overstatement for it to be. I'm going to play the song for you, and then we're going to take your phone calls in the next segment. I'm going to give you the opportunity to answer this question for me. Who are these candidates on the stage? Donald Trump in his interview with Tucker. Who are they talking to? I want to know about you. I don't want to know about Joe Biden. I don't want to know about Donald Trump specifically, or Ron DeSantis, or Vivek Ramaswamy. I don't want to know about them. I want to know about you. What is your existence right now in this country? What answers do you want to demand of whomever takes that office in 2024? You join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Leave us your comments there about who this debate is for. What problems are people experiencing? What goodness are you experiencing right now? I want your story, not theirs. Because that office that people are running for belongs to you. It does not belong to them. You have to grant it to somebody, and they have to earn it. Every single one of them has to earn it from you. I want to know who they're talking to. Give us a call. Leave some comments.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't this, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men, north the rich men. I wish politicians would look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't this, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men, north the rich men. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullish pay.
Oliver Anthony in Richmond, north of Richmond, there singing his heart out. A lot of people, it's a controversial song, but everybody seems to really be paying attention to it right now. And when we come back, I'm going to feature your phone calls. I want to know who are you? Who do these candidates who are vying for the highest office in the land, who are they speaking to? What are you experiencing right now? What issues do you see that you want to have answered and solved? And how does the Republican Party tonight speak to you specifically? Call us at 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Give us a call, and we will feature you, the listener, when we return.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
MidwestWingFest.com is the website. Are you going to be there? Are you going to come join us and hang out with me and the crew here? It's at the VIP tent, September 1st, and I can't wait to be out there. I think I'm going to be out there from 7 to 9 p.m. It'll be in the evening, and when you get into the VIP tent, it is a great, great experience. First of all, Midwest Wing Fest in Fairview Heights, Illinois, is a legendary food and music festival that benefits combat wounded soldiers and families of local fallen heroes. This is a way to have a wonderful time, but also to give back to your community. There is a ton of food, delicious wings, great drinks, fantastic live music, and a great area for kids to play. So the whole family is welcome to come out. Entry is $5 for anybody, 12 and older, but upgrade and come see us at the VIP tent. Hang out with us for unlimited chicken wings from Dandy Inn and beer from Chick Fritz Distributing. You get private restrooms there, and we get to have a great time hanging out, enjoying a wonderful evening in Fairview Heights, Illinois. Get your tickets right now for that VIP event if you want to come hang out with us. It's Friday evening, but the event is Friday starting at noon, and it goes through Saturday at midnight. You will not regret hanging out at the Midwest Wing Fest. Tickets at midwestwingfest.com/events.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Siding Express can totally transform the look of your home by installing Hardy Shake, board and batten, or a stone accent to make it your dream home. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor. Go to sidingexpress.com to schedule a free no-obligation consultation today.
Hello, everybody. I'm John Rooney. Do you have an old car that's taking up room in the driveway? Repairs are costly and selling is a hassle? That's why you should donate it to Goodwill. Donating is quick and towing is free. Plus, you get a tax receipt and 4 tickets to a Cardinals game, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a win-win. For more information or to donate, visit online at mersgoodwill.org. Must mention Cardinals.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Attention business owners. This is John Souza, CEO of ERTC.com. The Employee Retention Tax Credit Program provides up to $26,000 per W-2 employee. If you're confused about the program, stop right now before it's too late. Don't fall for false promises and risk your business. All ERTC companies are not the same. The bottom line, there's no such thing as guaranteed eligibility, and being innovative with tax filings can lead to an audit. At ERTC.com, we won't mislead you to attest to your own eligibility. At ERTC.com, everything is done in-house by expert CPAs, and there's no cost to get started. With the ERTC.com Fast Track Refund Program, you may qualify to get your refund in as soon as 48 hours. Get started today at ERTC.com.
Get your free refund information now. 800-200-6640. 800-200-6640. That's 800-200-6640.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to 20% on a new HVAC system when you bundle it with attic insulation. 9 out of 10 homes are under insulated. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Fox Across America has landed on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Weeknights at 6.
Hey, it's your radio buddy Jimmy Fallon here, and I am fired up, psyched to be here on 97.1.
Jimmy Fallon.
Every weeknight at 6.
97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You know the roof on fire. We go boogie, oogie, oogie.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
We go drink drinks and take shots until we fall out like the roof on fire.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. Tonight's the big GOP debate. We're airing it live right here on 97.1 FM Talk. So if you are out and about or you want to cozy up to the radio and listen to it, you can. Starting at 8 p.m. tonight, we'll have it live, including Fox coverage, right?
Yeah, well, it starts at 8, so probably Fox coverage because you're not. They always say we're going to start right at 8, and then they start about 15 minutes late. So yes, it will include some Fox coverage.
You're not going to start the debate 15 minutes late.
They always start a little bit late. I mean, if they're right on time, I'll be amazed. But hey, I hope they are.
I don't think that they're going to start the debate at 8:15.
I hope you're right.
Should we bet on it?
No, because you might be right.
Yeah, you guys should.
I think it's when it's for television programming, they're on time. When the president gets there, when the president's going to make an announcement, he kind of does what he wants. Or maybe she. We'll see what happens next. So I want to take your phone calls, 314-241-9797. Here's the conversation. We're going to give you each just like a minute to say what you think, and I'm going to try to get to as many of you folks as I can. So if you haven't been able to get through, we've got one line open right now, 314-241-9797. The focus is obviously going to be on the GOP candidates tonight that are taking the debate stage, including Donald Trump, who is going to be doing his own thing. They're going to be airing a Tucker Carlson interview, I believe, on Twitter, which you can watch when they release it, or you can watch it whenever. I want to know what your experience is right now. What is the American experience right now in this country, in Joe Biden's America? Because that's the question. That's the campaign that needs to be led by all of these individuals on the debate stage tonight, by Donald Trump and by Joe Biden himself. So I want to know about you. Give us a call, and I'll give you a minute or so to say what you want to say, and then we'll kind of compare notes between all of the different callers that we take. 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. I'm going to start with Kevin. Kevin, thank you for calling the Annie Frey Show. What are you experiencing right now as a tax-paying American here?
Well, like my wife and I, we paying jobs, we struggle to ensure that, we can put gas in our cars to get our kids to and from daycare and to work and ourselves to work and to put, decent food on the table.
Is it hard to do? Is it harder now?
Oh, absolutely. When we had 4 years of Trump, we weren't paying gas. Where I'm at here, just outside of St. Louis, is $2.70 $3.70 a gallon. That's a ridiculous amount of price to pay for 1 gallon of gasoline.
Yeah.
When we're dependent on other countries for our energy, I guess at that point, and what I would like to see from these candidates is someone to have the courage to stand up and voice and have the backbone, to have the principal backbone of they believe in the principles, the ideas that are in our Constitution, which is based off of the Magna Carta. And they can stand up there and no longer allow this foolish, ridiculous cycle of people going to Washington and becoming filthy rich and forgetting about the people they came from. They need to remember when they're on that stage, the consent for them to govern comes from us.
Yeah.
They are not there for their own bidding. They're there for ours. Every time I hear Democrats say our democracy, this is a representative republic. They need to get that phrase out of their dirty mouths.
Kevin, thank you for calling. I appreciate it. And you're exactly right. And that's the idea that we We had hope and change from one of those campaigns that turned out to be very fruitful for Barack Obama. And he said he wanted to fundamentally transform the United States of America. I fear as though he has been incredibly successful at that. And in some ways, let's change it back. Maybe not all, but in some ways, let's get back to the Constitution and what it says and what we stand for. Let's go to Ken. Ken, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you want people to understand about how you are experiencing life in America today? Hey, Ken, go ahead. You're on the Annie Frey Show.
Yeah, this is Ken. I told him before that I was a union worker. I still am, but for 42 years been Democrat. Well, I changed my ways because Democrats are not sticking up for the people, the working people. Republicans got the right ideas and doing the right things. Life costs too much right now. From what Biden has done, he's destroyed our country.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Ken. And what we're going to probably hear consistently is that it is expensive to live the American life right now in ways that it absolutely shouldn't be. Let's go to Jessica. Jessica, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you want these candidates to know about you and what you're experiencing here in our country?
Well, I know I'm not the only one, but 6 months after COVID, 6 months prior to COVID, I became a widow. And as if the shutdowns and the quarantines weren't enough for somebody that's lost their partner in life and had that partner for 20 years, this life has been so difficult for me with Biden as president. And it gets very difficult to wake up every morning and think to myself, boy, if I got in some hot water, because I've never gotten in hot water, never got into trouble, but if I ever have, could I say I identify as Hunter Biden? I've got a college student too. He was senior year was the day after his father died in high school. So I have a new. He was a freshman in college 2 years ago, so he's going on to be a junior now. And I'm telling you, college is worse enough. It's bad enough as it is for the cost of college, but they get these kids with so many extra fees. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it never ends.
And as a taxpayer, it's like, oh my gosh, where is my money going?
Yeah. Jessica, thank you. I'm sorry to hear about that losing your significant other right before COVID, and the fact that the timing of everything, the culmination of everything has had to have been incredibly difficult. These are the types of things that happen to people in life that when you add on top of your everyday, life cycle experiences, the car breaks down, somebody gets sick, you lose somebody, you put on top 20% increase in grocery bills, you put on top $3.80 gasoline, harder to get and make ends meet because even if your paycheck has gone up, the cost of everything has gone up even more. When that compounds, and that's what we're getting at right here in August of 2023, we've been dealing with this for some time now. You might be able to absorb it for a few months. You might be able to absorb it for a year, but at some point you go, I cannot sustain this. And it continues to get worse. 314-241-9797 if you'd like to join the Annie Frey Show and tell us what you're experiencing right now, what you would want these candidates to know about the issues that you want to see fixed. Steve, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show.
Yes, on this candidate thing, we need to have them put up a billboard sign. I mean, just a sign right there on the stage and have it listed on there. Price of rent, 2-bedroom apartment, $800, 3 years ago. Now, price $1,800. Gasoline, $1.70. Gasoline now, $3.70. The price of a new vehicle. 3 years ago, I was looking at a fully loaded pickup truck with a lot of bells and whistles on it for $60,000. That same pickup truck now, 3 years later, here is $95,000.
Wow, it's unbelievable.
It is just price of food. Put that up there on that little sign up. But put that up on that stage and put on there that Trump, and then put up there Biden. Under Trump's administration, this is what it was 3 years ago. Biden, this is what it currently is now.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when it comes to politics, holy cow, we're turning around. We're looking just like a banana republic when now we're finally authorizing to go have one candidate, weaponize a justice system to go after another candidate. I mean, my God, what a disgrace we have become. I mean, the Democrat Party is nothing but a complete and utter disgrace.
Steve?
And their behaviors, what they're doing, and how they're doing it. And then finally, they also need to discuss the media. The media turning around for 3 solid years lied to us. CNN, ABC, CBS, all told us about how supposedly Trump was a Russian agent for 3 solid years. And then finally, when it come to fruition, it was all a lie.
Yeah, Steve, you're spot on these issues, and they're all great concerns that everybody who I talk to who has these same emotions, these are concerns that they have. It is the best case for dramatic change in the Oval Office to compare Biden's economic numbers to Trump's. And if there's a person standing on the debate stage tonight, because we know Trump won't be on the debate stage, if there's a person standing on the debate stage tonight that's afraid to talk about that, they're not paying enough attention. The majority of their policies are going to be Trump policies. Andrew wants to talk about not watching the debate. Andrew, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you want any of these candidates or Donald Trump or Joe Biden to know about you and the issues that you're seeing facing this country today?
Hey, Annie, long-time listener. Love your show.
Thank you.
I won't be watching the debate because my mind's made up. I've been a Trump supporter since he came out. So I don't think any of the candidates have the testicular fortitude to take the gloves off and battle like Trump is right now for his life. I mean, it's been nothing but lawsuit after lawsuit and indictment after indictment, and none of them can even compare to that man. So I won't be watching the debate. I'll watch Tucker after it comes out. But I also wanted to comment on the Oliver song.
Yeah.
What I love about that song is it reaches out to the middle class. I've been working on the barges on the Mississippi River for 23 years, so it strikes a chord with people in the working class. But it's also, for me, it unites. Excuse me. It unites the middle class, no matter what color you are. You see people getting excited and deeply moved by this song because it strikes a chord with them.
Yeah.
And me looking forward is, I think something will happen, something will come out to where the government can divide us as a people again, because a house divided can't stand. They don't like to see people getting along, coming together. So,
Andrew, thank you. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate it. And, thinking about being a barge worker on the Mississippi River and knowing what it's like to put in labor and to work hard and to earn the money with, the breaking of your back and using your hands, and then to see that just doesn't go far enough anymore. Who's the politician who's been trying to identify with those people for so long? Who's the politician who spent decades and decades and decades and decades in Washington, D.C., trying to champion that blue-collar lifestyle, that middle-class existence? And yet Joe Biden has left all of those people, union voters, Democrat voters, Republican voters, middle-class, tax-paying, hard-working Americans, left them in the dust. Steven, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you think?
Hi. Well, I'm just watching. So me and my wife, we have 2-income household. We live okay. We live comfortable. We're still living mostly paycheck to paycheck, but we're doing okay. But I'm watching my 21-year-old daughter, a single mom, paying $1,000 a month for rent, struggling to pay for groceries without living on the system. It's just watching this is just it's heartbreaking, of course, because it's your own kid.
Yeah.
But still, 20 years ago, I was a single dad. Same situation almost. I made $8 an hour at a factory job, but my rent was $4.75. I made enough for groceries. I lived comfortably to where I wasn't scraping by, barely scraping by. And this was 20 years ago. She works hard, works 50 hours a week, $16 an hour, and she's still not able to really make her ends meet. Thankfully, she just paid her car off where she's going to have a little extra money. But my heart just breaks for the people who are just barely getting by. It's almost to a point where it's it's almost to a point where you have to live off the system.
Steven,
for a lot of these single parents.
It's a really smart point. Stephen, thank you for calling the show, because in some cases, I mean, Ryan, isn't there a bit of a goal to get people to live off the system? That's what socialism is.
It's amazing you say that, because every caller who's calling in, I'm just kind of taking down some notes about what they're saying. And that is what stood out to me the most about what Stephen just said too, is that he said his daughter's trying really hard to not be on the system. But that's exactly what they're trying to make her do.
He said it would be easier if she would.
Yes.
It is very sad to see. Let's take Bob's call here real quick. I want to get to a couple more before we break. Bob, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show.
Yeah. My comment is follow the money, and who's making money at the border. We know it's the cartels. And who's in charge of the border? The Democrats. And you think they want a Republican in office? I don't believe so. And I would like to know how much money the Democrats are sucking from them guys to stay in office.
Bob, thank you for that call. I mean, the border is a huge issue, and it might not seem here in St. Louis like that is top tier issue. I've been to the border. It most certainly is. I know people who are listening right now who personally know people who have died from fentanyl that found itself into their children's lives. Nobody knew that fentanyl was there, but it took those lives. That's coming from across the southern border via China. Lots of issues to discuss there. One more call before we break. Mike, thanks for calling the Annie Frey Show. What do you want these candidates, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, to know about what your experience is right now in America?
Well, listen, I'm 65 years old. I'm a constitutional Christian conservative, and I've lived, I can, it's not easy, but I can still live through this. But it makes you sick, as these other callers have called in. I've got children. I've got a 40-year-old daughter. I got a 33-year-old son. I've got grandkids. They can't hardly put food on the table. They can't hardly put gas in their cars. It just makes me sick to see how patriotism is gone from this country and what these politicians are doing. And it's mainly the Democrats, but it's the Rhino Republicans are just as bad. Pence being on that stage tonight sickens me, and a few of the others. But, I support Donald Trump. I believe he's the only one that is going to change this country back, because he's not a politician. And, the economy sickens me, the crime, the border, Ukraine, the money we give away, the justice system that is against us. If you speak out, they're coming after you. And Trump said it best. They're coming after him now, but we're next. So, we got to get this country back. And there's a couple of people on that stage that I want to hear from them. But they might be good running mates, but there's only one guy that's going to change it back. And, it's going to be, for a politician, it's going to be Trump.
I love it. Mike, thank you for the phone call. I appreciate it. And, for him to say, I don't know if this is his words, I think it was, that he's disgusted that Mike Pence is on the stage. There's a lot of reasons why you might be disgusted that Chris Christie is on the stage, or disgusted that Mike Pence is on the stage. Consider this, folks. The American people can be entrusted with this decision. In fact, we've gotten to the point where it's been threatened to be taken away from the American people to be entrusted with this decision. And they manipulate what you hear and what you know by what they report on and how they report on it. The best thing that can happen is Chris Christie standing on that stage. Mike Pence is standing on that stage. Vivek Ramaswamy is standing on that stage. DeSantis, the other guys who you don't know. Unfortunately, Governor, Bergman?
I think it's Doug Burgum.
That's a problem. We don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was playing basketball and he hurt himself, and he's not going to be there tonight, which is so incredibly unfortunate, because he spent $10 million of his own dollars on his campaign. He's going to miss this event. These viewpoints need to be out in the open, and they need to be discussed in your vision, in your view. And they're going to be tonight. You're going to be able to hear that debate right here on 97.1 at 8 p.m. I can't wait to see everybody who got their reservation, sold-out crew at the David Buster's GOP watch party tonight. We are going to be broadcasting live from the Annie Frey YouTube channel. And if you're going to the event, you're going to want to pop up the YouTube broadcast while you're there. Mute it. Not everybody needs to hear it, but you can comment right there live at the event with us on our live stream, and we'll be featuring your thoughts as well. Before we take a quick break here to get to Wiggins America, Ryan, tell us what some of the commenters on the YouTube right now on the Andy Frey YouTube channel live broadcast are saying about this topic.
A lot of comments coming in. I just was able to grab a couple here real quick. One from Scott says, you described Barack Obama perfectly, the likable guy who started this downward spiral of his fundamentally changing America. I like what Lori says, too. She says, I wonder what Biden plans to do now with lowering gas prices since he doesn't have enough in the reserves to do anything.
Oh, I know the answer to that question. He's going to take a nap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's going to have a little oatmeal.
Snickers.
Go to bed early.
Oatmeal. Jell-O. Nap. Wiggins America. When we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Mama said that every word but know my name. I'm the best you've ever had. If you think I'm burning out, I never am. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. Fireball.
Stewart's American Mortgage, where you can call or text Stewie. This is how he does business. He does business by being connected to you, not just some name on the front of a building. He is the guy who has the phone in his pocket or on his desk right now to the number that I'm about to give you when you are looking for the best possible situation securing a mortgage. Here's the number. You can call it. You can even text it. It couldn't be more convenient. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Text him and say, Bagel Loan. Annie says it's great. What can you tell me? And he will set you up. When you use the Bagel Loan to secure your mortgage, you don't pay anything in closing costs, and this is going to save you tons of money, thousands of dollars in many, many, many circumstances. He doesn't roll the fees into the loan. He doesn't tuck them away or do any tricks. They just don't exist for you. You do not have to pay them. He is very successful at lending to people exactly like you, getting you the lowest possible rate available, just like anywhere else might be telling you our rates are the lowest. He can help you achieve the lowest possible rates that exist, but he can do it with the Bagel Loan, which is where you save buku bucks. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan to find out more. NMLS number 226715.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. No one should be injured or be the victim of assault when using a rideshare service. These companies need to be held accountable.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-900,000 to learn more.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-399-9407 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-399-9407. That's 800-399-9407. What do you have to lose? Call 800-399-9407. Again, 800-399-9407.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
The Annie Frey poll topic of the day is, will the GOP debate impact the 2024 election? Yes, no, or you're not watching. Let us know on the Annie Frey YouTube page right now. It is 12:50. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Fact-checking the mainstream media daily.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You found it here. 97.1 FM Talk.
Right outside of this one church town, there's a gold.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
My ground, this is God's country. We pray for rain and thank Him when it's falling, 'cause it brings a grain and a little bit of money. We put it back in a plate. I guess that's why they call it God's country. I saw the light in a sunrise, sitting back in a 40 on the muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy water and shine with the dogs running.
Wiggins!
Oh, Wiggins!
Well, I'm glad I brought this topic today because we just did a segment full of callers who I think it was the number one issue that they brought up, which is inflation. I have looked all over the place, different articles, comments, things all over the place, where people were asked, what have you done to alter your behavior in light of inflation? And specifics. What have you done concerning this thing, that thing? So I'm going to bring these things to you. I want to see if you guys have altered your relationship with these types of things, or whether you haven't, whether you ever did these things in the first place. Some of them are serious, some of them are not. This one is 3 meals a day. It says around 10% of American households are food insecure, meaning that they're not able to feed their families because of the lack of money or resources. One food insecure individual on Reddit said that they live on just $3 of food a day. Do you guys do 3 meals a day, or have you altered the way that even you eat?
I definitely don't do 3 meals a day.
I didn't think so.
My goal is a meal a day. And that sounds dramatic, but I don't eat large meals. So the goal is to sit down with the family and eat a meal. And that becomes more and more difficult as school goes on, but we do a pretty good job of it. I think that I would say that the way my husband shops at the grocery store has changed because prices are out of control. Gosh, I can't remember what it was the other day. He goes, you know what is ridiculous? And he gave me a price on it because he does all the grocery shopping. But I would say we definitely, I don't know. I mean, we haven't stopped feeding our kids yet.
Good.
But
don't do that.
But I think that the way he shops, the things that he buys, sometimes you would get beef and maybe you're like, maybe we put some beef and some sauce instead of having a meatloaf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what about you, Brad?
I don't generally eat 3 meals a day anyway, but my story is a lot similar to Annie's. My wife does the shopping, and there are different things that we've stopped buying and that we do buy because of the cost of it. And it's just like, well, it's just not worth spending that much on there.
Yeah, a lot of these, actually, I had to kind of condense some of them because so many of them were related to food and groceries. A lot of people saying, yeah, I used to eat beef more and I just can't afford it now. Some people saying, I don't get milk alternatives anymore. I used to get oat milk and these kinds of things. I can't afford it. And then one person, it was kind of a woke comment, but I think it's still, in light of inflation, this is the real stuff people are dealing with. She said, I used to buy as much locally sourced food as I could to support the local economy and not
woke.
support.
Yeah.
Well, the way she worded it was because the principle is not, but the way she worded it was.
I tried to go to Norma's fruit stand
Yeah.
on 157, and I will pay whatever those prices are to support them and their locally grown produce.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it as broad appeal as possible.
The most woke person.
No, actually, I mean, the principle of what we're talking about is definitely not a woke thing. But she was saying, like, she's anti this and that, and it was a lot of corporate talk and stuff like that. And so she was like, I'm giving it to corporate America, which is also actually not that woke at times. Next one is concerts. A lot of people saying that they are big concert goers, but they're skipping any concert that they've already seen, first of all. And then a lot of times, ones that they really want to go to, just skipping entirely.
I'm not a concert goer, so that doesn't apply to me. But, there's just not as much. What I would say is there's not as much extra cash laying around to think of, like, where would we want to go? What do we want to do?
Yeah.
Airline tickets cost a lot more than they did before.
Yes, they do.
Whew.
Yes,
That's a
they
problem.
do. Even on the cheap ones, they're more expensive than they used to be.
Our concert tickets would be like, where are the Cardinals playing? Let's go see if there's a stadium we want to go see. And then you're like, oh, $300 each way. Nope.
Man, concert tickets is another one. And I don't know if that's inflation or just in general, but I looked at going to see Paul McCartney in Florida last year. He wasn't anywhere around here. I really wanted to see him. And it was over $1,000. It was $1,200 per ticket.
I think that has to do with it being
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney. Yeah, but I mean, these are big concerts. And to see him.
The George Strait concert that I went to see in Columbus, Ohio with Chris Stapleton, we sat basically on the 50-yard line of Ohio Stadium. They were good seats, but we don't go places. This was for my husband's 40th birthday. I paid like $400 a ticket.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, you better have the best time.
Yeah.
and he's a Notre Dame football fan. And I'm like, you wipe that scowl off your face. This is Ohio Stadium, and I don't care if it bothers you. It's not
$400. I'm getting over it.
You're not going to walk off this field as a Buckeye. Just
right.
Relax. And I tweeted that out, and then I got a whole bunch of people who were like, totally understand, go Irish.
I don't know if this
a lot of people were saying go blue, so I get it.
I don't know if this one would affect anybody in the room, but I thought it was an important one. It says starting a family. Americans are having fewer children in large part because it's too expensive. I get that. I mean, I got that when I started having kids, let alone right now. I would be going, man,
I do
don't
not
know.
get that. You're never going to be able to afford kids the way you think you need to afford kids before you have kids. You'll figure it out. Have children. Have many.
Somebody gave me that advice right before we had twins, and I was thankful. And then I said, you didn't think we were going to have twins, though, did you? Driving for fun. Is that something that you ever did?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I love it. I just didn't know if you guys did.
Wait. You sounded like you realized you were the odd man out. You changed. Did that used to? You
No,
see
no,
what
no.
I'm saying here?
Yeah,
No, no.
I heard
Yeah,
it.
did you
It's
guys
like,
ever do that? And we're like, heck
I
yeah.
thought I was the odd man
I do
out.
it all the time.
I love driving
I
for
love
fun.
driving. I will drive to a vacation spot because I like driving more than I'll do it to just fly. I'd rather drive to Florida sometimes.
You thought that Brad hasn't driven for fun?
No, I didn't know if you did, though. Brad does donuts when it snows a half inch.
Yes,
Those
he
are called
does.
snow nuts.
Yeah, he's got snow nuts. But I don't
That's
know.
not what I said.
That is exactly what you said, quote unquote. But I
Ryan.
just didn't know if you did because that's just one of those things that
I do not have snow nuts.
Some people might say that's a weird thing.
I
to
have no nuts.
somebody.
Oh gosh.
Hey Ethan, can you title this hour "Does Annie Have Snow Nuts?" on the podcast?
And the answer is no nuts.
Thank you. And then the small print, no nuts. Last one, Uber Eats. Did you guys ever do this?
I have gone to have food delivered to me on an app a few times if I'm like sick at home. I can think of twice. I think I went to Breadco and I wanted a soup. And it was $20.
I know.
And I'm like, what the hell is this?
I can't do it.
And then I didn't do it. I'm like, I'd rather die.
Me too. I know. I went on a real short trip and I came back and my wife had done it one night just so you have to take the kids out. And I was so disappointed.
It was awful. Actually, I didn't die. I got in the car, shoeless and braless, and went to Panera and got my soup myself, like the plague. Just going through the dry. I didn't go inside, guys. Relax.
She was doing snow nuts in the parking lot.
Braless. We'll be right back.
If you're looking at new windows for your house, choose wisely. Mark Cox here for my friends at Window World. You want to go with a company you can trust. Ranked #1 in the number of windows sold in the country. That's according to Qualified Remodeler magazine. In just over 20 years in business, they've improved the look and obviously the thermal efficiency of over 70,000 customers in St. Louis. They're going to give you a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts and the glass breakage and the labor. It's a good product. Call them at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate. That's 314-993-1800. Window World won the Good Housekeeping Seal of Approval. That's not easy. They rely on the expertise of their in-house engineers and their analysts and their product experts to give that seal of approval. That should matter to you as well. Call for your free estimate right now. Simply the best for less at Window World. 314-993-1800, windowworld.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A mutiny leader may be dead in Russia. Lisa Brady, Fox News, just getting reports that Yevgeny Prigozhin, head of the Wagner mercenary group, has been killed in the crash of his business jet, possibly shot down. Fox's Trey Yingst.
A business jet was flying from the Russian capital to Russia's second largest city of St. Petersburg when it was apparently, according to reports, shot down by Russian air defense. Less than 2 months ago, Prigozhin led an attempted mutiny on the Russian capital of Moscow, gathering thousands of his fighters in southern Russia and attempting to march on the capital. Many reports indicated that Prigozhin was back in the good graces of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Just on Monday, his official Telegram channel released a video showing him in sub-Saharan Africa, a place where many Wagner fighters had been operating on behalf of the Russian government.
Now, Prigozhin was on the passenger list of that jet that went down today. For now, there's no confirmation that he was actually on the jet. 8 of the Republicans running for president are due on a Fox debate stage 7 hours from now in Wisconsin.
We expect the economy to take center stage at the debate tonight.
Fox Business's Grady Trimble in Milwaukee.
We've been talking to voters here in Wisconsin, and they tell us they're eager to hear the Republican candidates' plans to tamp down inflation, rein in federal government spending, and unleash American energy. You know, each candidate is, of course, going to be looking for that breakout moment tonight. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says whoever makes the most compelling case on those pocketbook issues will stand out not only on the debate stage, but also against President Biden.
There's a question about whether North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum will be able to stand for the debate after he injured his leg playing basketball. Shots fired in Pittsburgh as deputies tried to serve an eviction notice earlier today. An apparent standoff with a suspect continues. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The beast of summer is alive and well this afternoon. Sunny, hot, and humid. 100 this afternoon. The heat index 115. That's between 4 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Just short of the record of 102. Tonight, partly cloudy, very humid. 90s for evening plans. 78 for the low. Thursday, sunny, hot. Slightly lower humidity, but the temps go up. 103 on Thursday. 103 is the record from 1947. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The debate watch party at Dave & Buster's is full. But don't worry, you can hear the whole thing on 97.1. Coverage starts at 8 with a GOP primary debate, and we'll carry the whole event live tonight on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the owners. Fantastic guys. They can do all of your IT. They can do a portion of your IT. They have the best Apple support team. Their response time is under 2 minutes. Think about that, under 2 minutes. Something goes sideways with your IT, and they are solving your problem and they're solving your problem within 2 minutes. Now, let's talk about cybersecurity. Most companies in St. Louis don't have cyber liability insurance. You get hit, you're on the hook, you're probably out of business. With ThrottleNet, if we represent you, we protect you. The first $500,000 that someone hits you for, which isn't going to happen, but if it does, we pay it. $500,000. That's what you're covered for with ThrottleNet. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS for all the information.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
You're hearing a commercial I set out for. I wish I would have done this years ago, because I mean the trade, we're so done in trades because we're just getting brutalized by the working class. But if you want great service as quick as we can get to you, because we're busy, and reasonable prices, if you call me, I would not waste your time. You will get equipment that will heat and cool your home. If you're looking for a furnace or air conditioner, it broke down, or you just need service, call me. Bart Inman. Again, it's Bart Inman, and with one really easy number, Missouri and Illinois. There's only one number for Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600, or the internet. Well, that was a large breath. The internet. BartInman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
This is not a sign of progress. This is a sign of a crisis, greatest, I believe, humanitarian crisis this city has ever witnessed.
Well, what the heck is Mayor Adams from New York talking about right there? He's talking about the border and the migration situation facing this country. The greatest humanitarian crisis the city has ever witnessed, and it's all emanating from the southern border. There's no possibility that Joe Biden and the Biden administration and Kamala Harris, who is the czar of cackling in the southern border, there's no possibility that they don't see this crisis happening. How are they permitting it to continue to happen? What is more valuable to the people who are in a position of power to make these types of decisions than protecting our southern sovereign border? It's the question that needs to be asked. And that was one of the things that was brought up from a caller earlier in the show. When I'm asking different callers, one after the other, we're going to talk about the debate. We're covering the debate live. Make sure you're subscribed to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. I'm about to post the thing so you can set the reminder to follow along with us. You don't really have to. Of course, they want you to watch along with us, but we're going to have a live chat streaming, and your thoughts are going to be able to be consolidated in one place there on the Annie Frey YouTube channel as you're watching the debate tonight. And we're going to be featuring them and adding them to our little popcorn watch party that we're having at Dave & Buster's tonight with, I don't know, how 150, whatever we opened it up to. Do you know how many people are going to be there?
It's over 100.
I know that it is sold out. And I know that the last time we did this, a lot of you folks showed up. It was fantastic. So asking you right now, what is it that you're facing that you want these people to talk about? Because I'm tired And let me check my stats here because I keep the running countdown. 440 days, almost in the 430s, guys. Time flying. 440 days away from the November 2024 election. And we spend all of our time talking about Trump and Trump's legal problems. And we talk about DeSantis and his personality problems, if you ask Trump. And we talk about Vivek Ramaswamy and how he's an up-and-comer and really interesting. But what's that? We're talking about 9/11 now. Or Tim Scott and how likable of a guy. We're getting to know these people. But my fear is that the people on that stage tonight, potentially Donald Trump, although I think he's the closest to being square over the target, and certainly Joe Biden, while we're sitting here trying to get to know these folks so we can make a wise choice with our vote, I feel as though they've kind of decided to stop getting to know us. And if you come knocking on a voter's door every election cycle, a year out, 18 months out, and you're stopping by and you're like, oh, I just want you to know I'm here to fight for you and I'd really love to have your vote. Well, where the heck have you been? Do you see what's going on right now? Folks in Illinois, how's it going? How are we doing over there? Are we feeling like we're getting what we're investing in with the copious amount of tax dollars that we're paying into? Feel good about it? Because someone's going to come knocking on your door pretty soon asking for your vote, asking for your support. If you're a Republican and you have Republicans coming by to ask for your support, maybe in a primary, they're going to try to say, well, I'm the person to make the change. No Republican in the state of Illinois. This is how dire the situation is in Illinois. No Republican in the state of Illinois is going to be able to that's elected right now is going to be able to make a difference because they don't even have to be part of the conversation because there are so few of them. Now shift to Congress. And if you look at Congress and you see there's a 4-point matter of difference, 4 votes in the House, everything counts. Every campaign counts. You count more than you ever have before because there's so much at stake. While the GOP candidates are going to ask us to get to know them so we can make a wise choice come the Republican primary, I'm going to remind those candidates, no, maybe you should get to know us. Maybe you should pay a little bit of attention to us. Mayor Adams in New York City, in his words there in that clip that I played a little bit earlier, saying that the migrant influx is the greatest humanitarian crisis the city has ever witnessed. Whoever gets put into a position of authority in New York City, in New York, or in the federal government needs to understand that that crisis exists at the southern border, and we are purposefully turning a blind eye to it right now. Let's join our friend Deroy Murdock. He's a nationally syndicated columnist. He's a Fox News contributor as well, our friend here on the Annie Frey Show. Deroy, welcome back. GOP Debate Wednesday. Glad to have you here.
Yeah, Annie, great to be with you.
So I want to ask you, you're a New Yorker. You understand things that are going on in New York City the way we don't, and we only hear about should it break through the news coverage that we get nationally. Mayor Adams is making it seem like this is an existential crisis in the city of New York City. What's your experience being there?
Well, it's exactly that, and it's funny because he's sort of speaking out of all 3 sides of his mouth at once. He defended the idea of New York being a sanctuary city. Everyone's welcome. And not too long ago, he referred to the illegal alien influx as the newest Americans. I love that phrase, the newest Americans. And now he's saying, oh my God, it's an existential crisis. It's the worst thing ever. What are we going to do? So as the slogan of sanctuary city, everyone's welcome, turned into reality of 100,000 people showing up between springtime and now, they don't know what to do with all these folks who are coming in. There are people camped out in front of the Roosevelt Hotel right in Midtown. That's on, Vanderbilt, between Vanderbilt and Madison at about 45th Street, so right smack in the middle of Midtown Manhattan. There's a beautiful old hotel where Guy Lombardo used to do the New Year's Eve broadcasts and play Old Lang Syne and all that. Well, that place is now chock full of illegal aliens and illegal aliens sitting out on the sidewalk. And then they took over Randall's Island, which is an island right in the East River, which has got soccer fields and so on. Several soccer fields have been converted into this giant tent city. for 2,000 illegal aliens. It may have been pushed up to 3,000, I think, and that's tremendously expensive. That's going to cost $20 a month, or $10,000 for each illegal alien, assuming 2,000 there. That comes out to $120,000 in annualized public assistance out of taxpayer dollars. So I don't know, this money is coming out of the pockets of New York City taxpayers, the most taxed people in the country, perhaps with the exception of Californians, and not even to people who are New Yorkers, American citizens, people from St. Louis who are coming to visit, people from elsewhere in Missouri happen to be there. These are people who broke into our country from other nations around the world, came in without permission, and guess what? They show up in New York City, and they've got hotel rooms and space in these tent cities, and I'm sure these kids, the illegal aliens kids, will be showing up in classrooms in New York City, which are already, at the breaking point with kids who are not learning very much for starters. So it's a total disaster.
What is the real expectation, the realistic expectation that people like Mayor Adams, the Democrats who are probably doing everything they can publicly to not show up the president of the United States and their border policies, but in back rooms have to be enraged that this problem has seeped into their communities the way it has?
I would think it has. On paper, when this stuff was, I shouldn't say on paper. On paper, if you're in New York, when you're watching Texas and Arizona being overrun, hey, it's no big deal. It's their problem. Those people down in the Republican states, they can cope with it. Well, guess what? When it ends up being something right smack in the middle of Manhattan Island, it's not an El Paso problem. It's now a Midtown Manhattan problem, and also a problem up in Boston where Maura Healey, the governor of Massachusetts, who's no conservative at all, she's quite a left-wing Democrat, she's now crying uncle and asking Uncle Joe Biden to do something about this. And they never say shut the border. They basically always say send more money. If I were Mayor Adams, I'd say, look, any bus that comes up here from Texas or elsewhere full of illegal aliens, turn it around at Lincoln Tunnel or the Holland Tunnel and tell them to go back to the Rio Grande and swim home, and do what my mother and father did, which is go to the local U.S. Embassy and fill out a visa application. And once your visa application is approved, then you can come to America legally, in which case we will welcome you. I will applaud. Many people who welcome immigrants will applaud as long as they come legally. But if you come illegally and you break into our country, you need to turn around and leave at once. I'm for full deportation of anybody who's broken into this country illegally. And I want to see these 5 million people who've broken into our country over the last couple of years sent home and told, again, do what everybody else should do, which is if you want to come into America, come to America legally, not illegally.
Deroy, when we talk about these people, usually the epicenter of the conversation and the spotlight, especially in the political tug of war, gets centered on these immigrants. They're leaving, drug-ridden communities and third world countries, and they're coming to the land of freedom, the United States of America. They feel like they're going to get here and they're going to be able to live in the spoils of this country, and they're enticed in many ways or encouraged in so many others. But in the midst of everything, no matter what we do with these individuals, there are consequences to the Americans who are living here in drug-ridden communities, in poverty-stricken communities, that are having their livelihoods threatened by an influx of individuals like New York City and Mayor Adams are talking about right here. Jobs, pay, safety and security. There is real consequence to otherwise law-abiding American citizens when we tolerate this problem the way we are.
Oh, yeah, we have all sorts of problems. Mayor Adams is saying this is going to cost New York City taxpayers through 2025 about $12 billion. That's $12 billion with a B. That is a lot of money. I assume that that's going to come out of more spending and probably more tax increases down the road. You've got another enormous, terrifying problem, which is in the last couple of years we've seen increases in drug-resistant tuberculosis, polio, leprosy, and even the plague.
Oh, my gosh.
These are diseases we thought were gone and banished and, in history books. Guess what? They're popping up across the country. And there are doctors and pathologists who think that one of the reasons they're coming in is illegal aliens are breaking into the country who they're not getting medical checks. We're not doing any screenings or examinations, which is what you have to do if you come in on an immigrant visa. You've got to go through medical screening and make sure you're not sick and bringing disease in this country. The folks are running across the border. Who knows what they've got? And they've got increases in these diseases. In I think Shigella, if I'm not mistaken, is the name. It's a skin disease. All these things are popping up, which we normally don't see in the U.S. because these people are bringing them in. and they're not being checked. They're not doing COVID tests. Remember, all of us had to do our COVID tests, and maybe we have to do them again. I'm hearing, and maybe more masks. I'm hearing, unfortunately, but they're not being checked. Just come on in, run across the border, help yourself. Knock yourself out here in America. We know who these people are. I think at this point we have about 130 or so. I think is the number of people on the terrorist watch list who have been caught at the border. Who knows how many terrorists have come through without being caught? And then this is unfair to us American citizens. This is also totally unfair to legal immigrants. I have a story on the Daily Caller right now that deals with a very nice young man I met about a month ago. He's an Ivy League graduate. He works in Silicon Valley. He's British. And he has had legal permission to be here. He applied for an H-1B visa and did not get it. So this guy who's got an Ivy League education, high-tech skills, working in Silicon Valley, trying to be productive and make himself prosperous and make our country prosperous as a consequence. Guess what? We're kicking him out. We're deporting him. He's getting on a plane any day now and going back to the UK because he does not have an H-1B visa. And I keep telling him, your big mistake is you just should have run across the border without coming here legally, and we probably would have paid for his graduate school education, probably get free housing and free health care. But he came here legally, did it the right way, and guess what? We're kicking him out of the United States of America. Not fair to him, not fair to the United States in this instance either.
Deroy, do you trust the Republican Party to provide solutions tonight at this debate, or potentially with Donald Trump in his interview with Tucker? Do you trust the Republicans to have a solution to the problem?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think we had solutions until Joe Biden came in. We were building the wall. We had the so-called stay in Mexico policy, where if you're applying for asylum, you stay in Mexico, and we'll determine if you get asylum, in which case you come in. If you don't, you stay in Mexico. He had agreements with Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, basically to keep their folks from coming up here. He had spoken with President López Obrador of Mexico, who deployed, I think it was 7,000 or 8,000 troops on the Mexican, not the American, the Mexican side of the border to keep people from coming towards the U.S.-Mexico border. And we had a much lower level of people coming across. The last, I think, 29, 30 months of Trump's watch, we had about 1.7 million people come across the border. Under the equivalent first 27, 29 or so months of Joe Biden, 5.6 million people, up 315%. So the number of people coming across the border in the initial time that Biden's been here compared to the equivalent time at the end of Trump's term, up triple, 315%. So if we just go back to the policies we had under Donald J. Trump, whether he comes in as the new president or somebody else picks up where he left off, if it's a different Republican, if we just do what we did before, it seems like we should be able to cut this problem down by about 2/3.
Man, I mean, it's a day one solution if they have their ducks in a row. Deroy, thank you for continuing to keep this as part of the issue that is being discussed right now, because there's so many other politically dramatic stories to cover that. Meanwhile, our border is under siege. It's amazing that it's not a top tier story every single day. We're grateful you brought it to us.
Absolutely. Very good. All right, Annie, great to talk with you. Thank you.
You too, as always. Deroy Murdock, nationally syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor. Grateful to have him on the show with us today. We want to encourage you to join us tonight while we are watching the GOP debate live. Of course, we've got a sold-out house for Dave & Buster's for the watch party, the GOP debate watch party tonight. So if you got in, great. If you didn't, and it's successful tonight, and we do it again, next time we open up those opportunities to come hang out, make sure you get in there and get in there quickly. Our crew's going to be there tonight, and we are going to we're going to do what we do best, which is attempt to do something. What we do best, listen, when I coach, I'm coaching 6th grade volleyball now, and when we have one rule in volleyball, only one, you will only hear from me in a raised voice if you break one rule, and the rule is to try. Whatever happens after you try, I do not care. I just want to see you try. And I promise you, if you give it the effort, we'll go home happy. And that's kind of the same rule we're going to have for tonight. So, I mean, I honestly feel like sometimes you guys want to see the train wreck more than you want to see the high-speed train safely arrive at the station. So we will see what happens tonight. I'm about to post on the Annie Frey YouTube channel the place where you can go get yourself and set a reminder for the event to start tonight and watch the debate with us. If you're going to the debate watch party, if you're not going to the debate watch party and you want to watch it and you don't want to necessarily listen to what we're saying because you're going to be listening to the debate, I still want you to pop up that YouTube live that we're going to be doing, and just give us your comments while you're listening, because that's kind of how we're going to be reacting as well. And we'll be featuring your comments throughout the course of the evening. So get on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, subscribe, and then that will be posted shortly. You can set your reminder. Today's YouTube live chat poll, we're going to discuss that with Brad and Ryan and myself here in a minute. Will the GOP debate impact the 2024 election? Yes, no, or not watching? Go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, cast your vote, leave your comments. We're going to feature some of those as well. When we return, lots more Annie Frey show headed up here in the next few minutes, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
My dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting for this moment. It's good to be alive right about now.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
MidwestWingFest.com/events. Are you going to be at Midwest Wingfest? Because I am, and I want to hang out with you in the VIP tent. You go be VIP with me. I would love that. In fact, I'm going to be in the VIP tent, and I still am not in a position in my life where if I go around, I feel very VIP. So I'd like to hang out with you, and we can feel that VIP-ness together. When you go through the MidwestWingFest.com/events, you are going to be able to sign up, pay for your tickets to get into the VIP tent. You're going to get unlimited chicken wings from Dandy Inn and beer from Chick Fritz Distributing. You get private restroom access, which is great. It's a crowded area at Fairview Heights, Illinois, because everybody is there and having a great time. Bring the kids, bring everybody to the event, and just enjoy a wonderful evening at Midwest Wingfest, where Legendary Food and Music Festival comes together to benefit combat wounded soldiers and families of local fallen heroes. MidwestWingFest.com/events.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long. And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-399-9407 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-399-9407. That's 800-399-9407. What do you have to lose? Call 800-399-9407. Again, 800-399-9407.
There are a lot of smart business people out there making smart decisions by getting Rhino Shield. The latest one, the Central Illinois Care Services They have decided to go with Rhino Shield on the outside of their building so they won't have to worry about maintenance from now on. The list is long. Joe's Tire out in Sullivan, Stonehill Wineries in Herman. They've all got Rhino Shield on their buildings. You can have it on your business or your house. Just call 877-25-RHINO. Let Darren come out and give you a free estimate as to what it would cost to get this great product on your home. 25-year transferable warranty, 100% waterproof, 8 to 10 times thicker than paint, and as a satisfied customer, 15 years in, I can tell you it looks as good as the day they put it on. You're going to love Rhino Shield. Call them right now. Tell them you heard about it on the Mark Cox Morning Show. Again, 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Summer's just getting started. Still need your air conditioner checked? Schedule your HVAC system check for only $54. This is a limited time offer. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Attorney General of Missouri, Andrew Bailey.
We're going to fight to defend Missourians' constitutional right to keep and bear arms. I will discharge my duties as necessary to stop progressive city leaders from infringing our constitutional rights.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Stop texting me. I know. Don't rewind this show.
I'm going to start texting you now.
No. I love finding out who's listening to this show. They always come out of the woodwork when I do something stupid. It's like, I know her privately, though, on text message, not publicly.
Yeah, very privately.
What?
VI privately. You said, I'm not talking about it because I'm being good.
It's hot in here.
It is hot. We're on the 3rd floor talking about stuff we shouldn't.
We might as well be outside.
It's hot in here and it's bawdy. You feel that?
I don't think the word body and you feel that belong in the same paragraph.
It's bawdy and balmy. Both.
Everybody leave me alone. Stop picking on me. We're not talking about it.
We are talking about it.
The song High Hopes, classic youth baseball song. I was watching this. I should have sent it to you to pull the audio from and let the comedian tell his joke. But he was doing stand-up and he was talking about being in a youth baseball, like around a youth baseball team or coaching it or whatever. He's like, these kids and their bats, why do you need a $596 bat? He goes, why don't you just go up there, strike out, and let the next kid pass it to the next kid so he can strike out with it too? He goes, we got a dugout full of $4,000 worth of bats and we got 2 hits. The reason why I think of that is because I was telling Ryan before we went on the air, he should write a parody song of High Hopes called Average Hopes.
Average Hopes, yeah. Got to have average hopes. Gotta get.
And you don't have to write it live on the show.
I'm gonna write it live.
I thought maybe you could just show up on the show in 3 months and be like, "Oh, I just came up with
Throttle my
this."
speed again. Regress to the median.
Here we go. Did you write that down, or are you just doing this?
I just did it. I didn't come up with this song ahead of you just mentioning it a minute ago.
I mentioned it before we came on the air that you should do this, and I thought maybe in that amount of time you came up with those 2 lines.
I did. I guess you could say that I did. But it was really more in the last 20 seconds.
That was the question.
Yes.
Did you say that for the first time as you were thinking it?
Yes.
As most things.
Yes. It's a slip again.
Ryan always has.
And it's Freudian.
Ryan has the best ideas. 3 weeks later.
Yeah, way later. In the moment, I can't come up with anything, obviously.
I mean, Brad, stand by me on this. He'll come in and be like, I've been thinking. And it's like something we talked about and planned out 2 weeks earlier in a meeting with Ryan Wiggins. But then you say, hey, go write this song, and then he does that. It's brilliant.
You know what I've just stopped doing entirely, though, is bringing you news. Because there's a time early on in the show that I go, oh my gosh, Annie, have you seen this? And it was obvious that you have.
What do you want me to do?
And
Honestly.
then, no, now I get it too, because people come to me with news, and I would say 95% of the time I've already seen it. Even like wild conspiracy theories, people will email and you go, have you seen this? It's like, actually, yes, I have.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, even if we're not talking about it, I have seen it. But you're ahead of me. And so I can never keep up.
Ryan says, but you're ahead of even me.
Because, we're pretty current, and I'm pretty current with things, but even when I find something that I send to you now, I mean, it is rare that I send you something now, because so many times I send you something and then immediately went, why did I even try that?
I'm going to be honest with you, though, when if I don't know, because I wouldn't put it past you to make up a story to be like, you heard that? And I'd be like, yeah, I've heard that. I heard that 3 hours ago.
I'm not just saying it. Usually I'm sending you a link. So I'm not going to go through the trouble of writing a fake story and then sending you the link, though. I want you to know that.
Dash says High Hopes was used as Pete's campaign walk-on song. Is that true? The transportation secretary?
Huh.
You know what? Let's just go off on the tangent here. I've never thought about the transportation secretary before. We talked about this one time on the air, and we're like, name another transportation secretary. We Googled it. I know another one. It's Mitch McConnell's wife.
Yeah.
Who has a lot of Chinese connections in a lot of the work that she's done. She is Asian in and of herself. But she's the only person who I would recognize in that position. Who pays attention to the transportation secretary? We have had more transportation crises in this country that the transportation secretary actually is of consequence. I mean, publicly, they're always of consequence in some capacity. What is Pete Buttigieg doing?
I think he's probably hanging out in a hammock a lot, just from pictures that I've seen. But I haven't researched it deeply.
So to suggest that you think that there's a hammock involved makes me feel as though you've researched it at least shallowly.
Yeah, I would say shallow research is probably what I've done. I've seen him posting baby photos, and I think they were mostly of him hanging out and just like looking at the camera and grilling in his backyard. That's most of the research that I've done, and it was just because it was the top story on Yahoo about 2 years ago.
I was gonna say, I just think you're making this up. But
No.
when you tag it with 2 years ago, I think maybe you're telling the truth.
Yeah, because at that time, the media had a vested interest in making him look good. Now they don't care.
Do you remember watching the Democrat debates where Joe Biden somehow emerged? He would always be center stage, and I'd be going, how did he get center stage? Because it's based on polling. You get the closer you are to the center, the more success you're having in the polls leading up to that event. Joe Biden would always be there. That one time, Kamala was to his one side, and Bernie was somewhere near the center of the stage. And then Kamala was like, Joe, you're a racist. And he was like, cool, you want to be my VP? And she's like, yeah, why not?
Yeah. People who vote for you are a travesty.
And
Who was my
then-
VP? I guess so.
They won, and now we're here.
And they made that famous phone call. Joe, we did it.
We did it. You did it, Joe. Will the GOP debate impact the 2024 election? That's today's YouTube live chat poll. If you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, I'm just thinking about my screw up. I gotta get that under wraps. Will the GOP debate impact the 2024 election? Yes, no, or not watching. If you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, you'll be able to vote in that poll. Do you think it's going to make an impact?
No, I don't. I think I don't really think highly of this segment in general.
Segment?
I think that we're kind of going off the rails in a way, and so
I just brought it back on the rails. You're doing
don't
like a
think so.
live golf reporter analysis of me trying to do my job.
Yeah. I was trying to seg into you failing, but I don't know how to do that when you ask me a very pointed, direct question. So to answer your question, I will say again.
Thanks for taking the scenic route.
You're welcome. No, I don't think it'll have an impact on the 2024 election because I just don't think anybody on that stage is going to be a major player in the 2024 election. Annie, go ahead. You can do the rest now.
No, I'm going to ask Brad because Brad will have something insightful and at least nice to say. Brad?
No, don't say something nice.
Don't say something nice. Well,
I'd
Annie,
lose
this is a
respect for you.
great question. And
I just lost respect for you.
no, I think this.
Go on.
I think this debate will have an impact on the 2024 election. When you say can it have an impact on the 2024 election? There is going to be something that's going to come out of this election that is going to be either really good for one of the candidates or really bad, or something that somebody can use in a campaign ad. It will make a difference. I don't think that everybody's just made up their minds. You good, Annie?
In light of your mess up in the break, I'm sure that you are glad that Brad went long. Double, triple, quadruple entendre is fun. We're all having a good time. At your expense. Oh, you pulled up the music. I used to have respect for you.
Yeah, I'm not looking for your respect.
We got her on the ropes right now.
2-year-old? Grow up.
She's fallen hard. And we are here to point it out. And that is our job.
We'll be right back. Don't go away. Or do.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
This planet is so incredibly beautiful that I can't get enough of it. I did 950 miles on the Pacific Crest Trail, and Good Feet was with me all the way. Your passion's important, but if your body aches and if your heel feels like you've got a nail stuck in it and won't come out, trust me, it's going to wear you down. The Good Feet store knew what they were talking about and took the time to really dial in what I needed. I hiked 84 miles in the Himalaya and to do it pain-free. You think I'm not grateful for Good Feet?
Get ready for your summer adventures. Come to the Good Feet store today. Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. You deserve comfort in your life. Come in for your free test walk today.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. Not all law firms are created equal. Don't risk your future with just any firm. See how Onder Law is different.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
That's nothing to see here, just the YouTube live chat poll. Will the GOP debate impact the 2024 election? Yes, no, not watching. It is a subject that we just discussed very seriously, and we will continue to throughout this show. The time right now, 1:42. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Surprise! Surprise! You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
Air Comfort Service has visited my home multiple times to help us with HVAC concerns, with the distribution of air in our home, with the AeroSeal duct sealing, making sure that our floors were heating and cooling evenly. That made a huge difference in how frequently we had to run our HVAC system. But they also are there to help you with your commercial repairs. So if you have residential concerns, just like we did, call Air Comfort Service for honest opinions and multiple choice solutions to the problem you're experiencing. You can call them at 314-513-0091. But if you're a business owner, a building manager, or an operations manager, and you know that there is an HVAC concern, especially with the heat that's out there right now, that you want to address, get Air Comfort Service out there to help you. Call Air Comfort Service at 314-513-0091 and get a free second opinion on commercial HVAC repairs. They've provided residential and commercial heating and cooling services for over 50 years. You can trust these people. They are there to help you, and they have done great things in the Frey family house to help us as well. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
The voice for hardworking, free-thinking Americans.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Isn't there a place around here that has sunflowers? Like, it's a big thing. You can go get your pictures taken with the sunflowers.
Yeah, the old sunflower field off Highway 9.
I hate you. Is there Highway 9 somewhere?
Yeah, it's where the sunflower field is.
Do either you know what I'm talking about?
I've seen pictures of people in sunflower fields.
I'm not sure.
Like stock photos or people you know?
They come with a frame.
I need you back, Ryan.
Route 9.
I need you back.
I'm back. Hi. Route 9.
There's an article here on thestreet.com, which is different than Highway 9.
It's a street, though.
There is a sunflower field. It draws people's attention, and it is an attraction and great for photos and everything. But the headline is sunflower field owners are begging tourists to stop taking off their clothes. There are people taking naughty photos in sunflower fields.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Unless the flowers are perfectly placed, then it'll be kind of fun.
Reminder to all, we are a family area, and please keep your clothes on in the sunflowers. Stoke Fruit Farm, which runs a sunflower field attraction on England's Hayling Island every August. Wrote on Facebook.
You know, the other problem with that is how many people are now pulling off right there and just sort of sitting and watching.
Just waiting.
That's become a bigger traffic
Missouri
problem.
Bottom Road. Vicky says Missouri Bottom Road has the sunflowers.
Yep. That's what I said.
Is that Highway 9, Vicky? Somebody tell us.
Yeah, Vicky.
Highway 9 is a good lyric in a song. Kind of rhymes, sort of.
Yeah, you could rhyme it with quite a few things.
People go
Feeling
and
fine
take.
on Highway
What do you do if you own and operate this and people come to take pictures in your field, but you got some people who are like, let's take this kind of picture. Are you approaching them if it's your sunflower field?
I'm not approaching them. I'll probably pull up a lawn chair.
You're just gonna watch the naked folks take pictures in your sunflower field?
I think so, as long as they're not ruining my sunflowers. They're taking my seeds. I, one time, was in downtown St. Louis, and I think this is a real event that still happens. And I was with a group of guys who were clearly more mature than me.
Wait.
Brad was not there. And we were eating
Your
dinner.
grandfather.
This was probably within the last 10 years. And there just rode by some people naked on bikes. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then it just kept going. It was a long, naked bike ride. And I just kept pointing at them.
I'm going to ask
going,
ask a regrettable question. Is there any level of intrigue in the nudist lifestyle that you're like, I could see why those folks want to ride their bicycle naked?
I would say
Or
yes.
go to a nudist beach.
I mean, I would say based on my reaction at the restaurant, I would say yes, there is a deep intrigue.
You want to be one of them?
No, I don't want to be one. But
You can't be the one creeper at the nudist event who's fully clothed, just like, hey, guys.
A, why not? B,
Brad?
I don't get why, and I really would like an answer to this. Why do naked people love the beach? Why can't you go anywhere else?
Because that's where you're sunning yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You could sun yourself on a rooftop. You could have naked roof time.
I don't think so.
But would you want to lay out and tan on your rooftop?
I think people do that.
They like the beach for the same reason everybody else likes the beach.
Because it's the beach.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that go to the beach clothed. I don't see the naked people going to other
Yeah,
locations.
but the people who are air quotes clothed at the beach aren't clothed. If you're wearing a bikini or something, in some cases the bikinis are barely there anyway, or swim trunks or Speedos or whatever. I don't understand the intrigue, the interest, the desire to want to be nude in public. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I've never really understood either. I've never actually watched the show because I have no interest in it, especially since it's all blurred out.
Naked and Afraid?
Yeah, Naked and Afraid. What's the attraction?
Especially because it's all blurred
I mean, if it was actually naked people, I'd be like, oh
I
my
heard
God.
that too.
Just like the people on the bikes, I'd go, huh, did you see this? Did you see this? Is anybody seeing this? But they're all blurred out. And I'm like, I don't care about your ability to survive in the wilderness with no clothes because my guess is if you were actually in the wilderness, you would have been clothed. So this example is not real life.
Brad?
Where am I supposed to go with that?
I don't even know what to ask you.
I don't know. No, I'm not interested in that lifestyle at all.
I just figure you should have the opportunity to say it publicly.
Understand. I don't understand. I don't get it. You know, what? Ew. No.
Ew.
Ew.
You?
Ew. No, I've already made that clear.
Okay.
When culture has moved in such an aggressive, unaccepting movement of acceptance, the nudist thing kind of fits in a weird way, but at the same time doesn't fit in like that. There have been nudist colonies and nudist beaches and nudist experiences for a long time.
Yeah.
That's not like anything new. But the idea of everybody, I mean, is it everybody's okay? Like that's not even true anymore because in order to push upon people a culture that boasts self-love and self-acceptance, it's you have to be able to identify a contradictory party so that you can encourage people, no, you need to accept you. There has to always be a capital T, they. They say, you're not normal, but what is normal? You're okay exactly the way you are. They. I said this on Twitter last night, and I will say it publicly here. I wish we would stop saying they. I wish we would start naming names. Because who is they? You can say pretty much anything. You can lobby any accusation, lay blame, push any sort of aspersions onto anybody with the, you know, they don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to get ahead. They don't want you to, I saw somebody comment, if you're under 30, you will own nothing. That's a movement that's out there right now. They don't want you to own anything. Stop saying they, because right now they has a name. It's the Democrats in power and any Republicans or swamp goats that support that mentality. We can't, they is too subjective to the conversation so that whenever you have a discussion with someone, you can be like, they're just trying to keep you down. And that doesn't mean anything. Because when somebody hears that and they is different than your they, then you're not getting anywhere. Start naming names. Start putting blame where you believe blame lies and be specific. I mean, they is the widest net you can cast. It's so, I guess subjective is the correct word. It's so subjective that it might align you with somebody, but with no real purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not really identifying a real solution to a problem. It might just be pointing out that there is a man out there, a system out there that doesn't want you to go to the mall naked. And so then you say, well, they don't want me to go to the mall naked anymore, and I want to get my Foot Locker in.
It's the police don't want you to go to the mall naked anymore, Ryan.
That's what
I thought you
think.
said you weren't going to talk about that on the air.
I'm not. I'm talking about theoretical they.
Oh.
They don't want you to ride the banister on the escalator naked.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to go up and down in the glass elevator.
Brad, I'm done with him.
I don't know.
I've tried like a dozen times
Yeah.
in this show to have a serious conversation.
Yeah.
It's not happening. Do you know what I'm saying though? Like the specificity of the they that gets, good grief, in political campaigns,
Mm-hmm.
that's all it is a they.
Yeah, it's a boogeyman. They create a boogeyman out of it. And when I say they there, I'm talking about political consultants.
It's hard to not do.
Yeah, they want to create a boogeyman so that they can create an other, a nameless, faceless other that can then become the evil in these people's lives so that these people will vote for their candidate or whatever it is. But if you start naming names, you are opening yourself up to critiques of that methodology. Because if you say, the Democratic Party wants you poor and they don't want you to own anything, then you have to point to exact specific things about what they're doing that makes it do that.
But
Now,
if you can't make those distinctions, then maybe you shouldn't lobby the accusations.
well, that's exactly right. But the goal isn't to be correct. The goal is to get your candidate elected.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they is this kind of shadow campaign thing up there that even if you put a name to it like the Illuminati or the World Economic Forum or whatever, that does force you to have to defend your comments more specifically than just saying
If you're
they.
making broad suggestions about what they want to do and you're referencing what would be highly conspiratorial in the Illuminati, but that's what you're referencing, speak it. Like, say it and own it, because you can't have intellectual conversations about how to fix problems if you're not specific. If we're not actually trying to fix problems and we're just trying to collect people, then that's just politics. And that carousel goes round and round. All right, let's take a quick break. 2 o'clock hour of the Annie Frey Show up next.
It's obvious. We're being let down by the institutions we used to trust. The mainstream media are distracting us with meaningless headlines instead of focusing on the real concerns of American families. Countries we're at odds with are hoarding food, financial systems are strained, and supply chains remain too fragile. We can tell something is coming, so we're preparing. Folks are getting into self-reliance and investing in emergency food storage. And My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, makes it easy for you to have peace of mind knowing you're prepared. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure some emergency food kits. There's a dozen to choose from that contain tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. And while you're there, stock up on water filtration, heirloom seeds, and emergency gear, too, at MyPatriotSupply.com. It's time to prepare today. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies fees as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If you're making the minimum payments, but your balance is just not going down, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it will take years to get out of debt, call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 5 million people. They can consolidate your debts into one lower payment, reduce your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. If you're struggling with credit card debt, call Consolidated Credit now.
Call now, 800-552-6750. That's 800-552-6750. 800-552-6750.
Consolidated Credit Counseling Services Incorporated, 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33313. Not a loan company licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 19, Oregon DM 80031. Licensed by Virginia State Corporation. Commission license number DC 32. Establishment of a plan may adversely affect the individual's credit rating or credit scores. Non-payment of debt may lead creditors to increase financial charges or collections activity, including litigation.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A plane crash under scrutiny in Russia. Lisa Brady, Fox News. It was a business jet reportedly owned or used by the head of the Wagner mercenary group, Yevgeny Prigozhin. Russian media reports suggesting it was shot down by air defenses, killing Prigozhin and everyone else on board, less than 2 months after he led an attempted mutiny against President Vladimir Putin over conditions for his mercenaries fighting for Russia in Ukraine.
There was always this question about how a man who tried to lead a coup against Russian President Vladimir Putin could survive. We should note here, though, this is all according to preliminary reports and information from Russian state media indicating there were 10 people on board this business jet flying to St. Petersburg. 3 of them were crew members, and according to these reports, one of them was Yevgeny Prigozhin.
Fox's Trey Yingst. Prigozhin was on the passenger list. There is no confirmation he was on the jet. The White House says President Biden has been briefed about the crash. He is on vacation on Lake Tahoe. It's debate night for 8 of the Republicans hoping to challenge the president. And North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum has just arrived at the Fox debate site in Milwaukee using a crutch after a basketball injury sent him to the hospital. Democratic Party Chair Jamie Harrison slamming the Republican primary as a race to the MAGA base.
This group is as extreme as it gets. A bag full of MAGA apples, and they are all rotten.
Former President Trump is skipping the Fox debate tonight, citing his large lead in the polls. Tomorrow, he plans to surrender to face election fraud charges in Georgia, where more co-defendants have been showing up for booking, including former Trump attorney Sidney Powell. More gunfire in Pittsburgh, where an eviction notice has led to a standoff.
We just sent up a couple more drones. Was not the first time. The suspect did shoot at previous drones.
Pennsylvania troopers say nearby residents were being evacuated. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The beast of summer is alive and well this afternoon. Sunny, hot, and humid. 100 this afternoon. The heat index 115. That's between 4 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Just short of the record of 102. Tonight, partly cloudy, very humid. 90s for evening plans. 78 for the low. Thursday, sunny, hot. Slightly lower humidity, but the temps go up. 103 on Thursday. 103 is the record from 1947. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171.
Shopping for windows at Window World is easy. Go online to windowworld.com and you can ask questions there. You can get a free in-home estimate at windowworld.com, but you can also call 314-993-1800. They're the preferred window of the St. Louis Blues, but they're also the preferred window of many folks in the St. Louis area who have been seeking out an improved look and thermal efficiency. Over 70,000 customers in St. Louis in just over 20 years of business have sought out Window World windows to replace their drafty windows, their broken windows, their just old and degrading builder's grade windows. Window World is going to come in with a superior window to fix all of these concerns and issues for you. Call for a free estimate at 314-993-1800. Window World is also now offering 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit to make it a little more affordable for you to do the whole project. Whether you're looking for one window or a whole house full of them, reach out to Window World. Find them online at windowworld.com.
Tired of constantly caring for a home exterior that doesn't look as good as it should? You deserve beautiful, low-maintenance James Hardie fiber cement siding. James Hardie gives you gorgeous colors, stands up to Missouri's harsh weather, and lasts decades. At Lakeside Renovation and Design, we're experts in installing America's #1 siding. And our lifetime workmanship warranty gives you peace of mind. Get a lovely, lasting home exterior with Lakeside Renovation and Design. Request a free consultation at 636-978-5000. That's 636-978-5000. And love your home all over again.
1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced. Let the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts test your battery for free. They can also help you find the best Super Start battery for your vehicle. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You could be watching this right now. Tune into the Annie Frey Show live stream. YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitter. You know what? Just type in Annie Frey Show live stream. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
The thing that holds up whether to do impeachment inquiry, provide us the documents we're asking. The whole determination here is how the Bidens handle this. If they provide us the documents, there wouldn't be a need for impeachment inquiry. But if they withhold the documents and fight like they have now to not provide to the American public what they deserve to know, we will move forward with impeachment inquiry when we come back into session.
So there's Kevin McCarthy, Speaker Kevin McCarthy, talking about once they get back into session, pushing forward with that impeachment inquiry. Do you say inquiry or inquiry? I feel like it's an inquiry, but he probably knows better.
I say inquiry, but he says inquiry.
No, that's not the way it went. He says inquiry.
He does?
Yeah. This kind of seems strange. I wonder what Google says. We'll look it up. Do you want to see him impeach Joe Biden?
Not just to impeach him, but...
Well, I mean, I don't think that the pursuit into this right now, Brad, would be just a political exercise and this guy sucks, let's get him out.
No, I don't think that's what the idea is here. But if they need, I want them to get to the bottom of whatever it is that they're investigating. I want to know the truth about this. And if they're right, if the Biden administration is stonewalling and they don't have the legal tools to get the information that they need to find out what's going on, then I do support the idea of launching an impeachment inquiry to figure out, if that gives them better legal avenues, more teeth in their request and in their subpoenas. If it doesn't, then no, just set this aside. That's not really what we need to be doing right now.
If Joe Biden continues to run for election and he loses, he's not going to run again. What pursuit do you want to see into what Joe Biden has or hasn't done, along with Hunter Biden, globally lining his pocket with his time? If he is an ailing old man, he is an ailing old man.
Hypothetically.
Let's just say.
Yeah. If I were typing that, I just would have gone, wait a second, backspace. Do we continue to pursue it? What if he is not even with us anymore? Is it still important to look into? Do the American people, what do you think, Brad? Do the American people have a responsibility to push and find out what our elected officials were capable of doing?
I think so. I was sitting here, I was thinking about that. Keep investigating, keep figuring out what he was doing. And if nothing else, even if you don't want to launch a legal proceeding against him, which I think maybe that might be the best move, is to just not launch that legal proceeding. Have everything lined up and be like, here is all the stuff. This man is guilty of sin, but he's 80-something years old. We're going to let this go. But this is what Washington leaders are capable of. This is how they did it. This is everything, and just lay it bare for the public so that you can maybe prevent something like this from happening again.
Andy McCarthy was on the show earlier this week, and I really wanted to ask him this question, and I was so past time I couldn't get to it because it's a very broad question. Are we to believe, if we prove that Joe Biden was as knowledgeable and lucratively a beneficiary of Hunter Biden's business dealings across the globe, to the tune of the numbers at $50 million at this point. And I can't imagine that we found every penny or purpose of this type of behavior. I'm sure there will be some that we will never find or never be able to track. But the number right now, and they're looking at bank records, is $50 million that's in question. Are we supposed to believe that the Bidens are the only ones who have ever done this way and that they just haven't been smart enough to get away with it?
Oh, no. No, this has been in politics for a long time. And that's one of the reasons I'm glad they are looking into it, is because even if Joe Biden loses his next election and it becomes let's say a Donald Trump administration and a Trump DOJ, and he cleans house to the FBI, let's say, and they're able to pursue these things. First, they do need to pursue them, but only as resources would allow, because they won't be the most important thing. But we do need to know what he did, because that's Washington. Because Washington has been doing this, people in power have been doing this kind of stuff for a long time. And if they now know it is no longer acceptable and the American people have had enough of it, it will begin to stop.
If the people who are put into Washington are in a position to benefit this much with things that the American voter and taxpayer will never really be able to dig deep enough to find out the sum total of what has been done, I'm not a fan of term limits. I have not been somebody who would on the whole support term limits, because I think that the American individual and the vote of the people in the district, the constituents, you are the term limit. If you get sick and tired of the person, if you think that someone's been there for too long, vote them out. But there is a system in place that doesn't allow challengers to rise up to the position of actually being on a level playing field where you can compete. And as much as people want to see different folks representing them, and you're tired of seeing the Mitch McConnells and the Dianne Feinsteins and the Joe Bidens and the people who are just there, Nancy Pelosi, that are just there forever and they never leave. More than just wanting fresh faces and fresh ideas and different people to be in that representative capacity, you don't get to do what Joe Biden has done in his lifetime if you're not there for 50 years. If you limit any individual person's exposure to this level of power, you are limiting what they can do to the taxpayer on the taxpayer's dime in a fraudulent and or corrupt capacity of any political party or affiliation. There's a part of me that's like interested in the potential, Nancy Pelosi is she referred to as Speaker Emeritus or just Emeritus? She's something Emeritus.
Ooh, I'm not
I don't know the answer to that.
They gave her a specific title that was to acknowledge that she wasn't just a commoner among the congressmen.
You can't return to normal life.
No.
We have to knight you.
She has some specific kind of distinction. I can't remember what the title is off the top of my head. I'm not opposed to people who have been in government for a long time being accessible, having a say in policy formation or ways to go about things. I mean, it's not to even suggest that if you had term limits and those people were no longer in there, that they wouldn't be creating some sort of board or some sort of essentially like lobbyists that would not be lobbying on behalf of the American taxpayer or the profession that maybe somebody works in, like a laborers union or something like that, that you would have somebody who would essentially be lobbying for the function of government and the expansion of government, and that those wouldn't be people who would be lucratively paid. But I just don't think that looking at what the Bidens have been capable of doing, looking at what the Clintons have been capable of doing, you don't get to sink your claws so permanently deep into the system where you essentially are striking oil, so to speak, in some literal cases potentially, when you do that so that you can line your pockets and the generations to come after you because of your presence in government. I know people personally well. I know these people well who serve in politics locally at the state level. It's not easy. And in many cases, it's not particularly lucrative. You're not going to go be in the state house or the state senate or the General Assembly or whatever it is. It's certainly not local city government or township or county or whatever. You're not going to go do that and be, rolling in your Scrooge McDuck gold doubloons. And there's a lot of anxiety that goes to it. When you move into a federal capacity of representation, it becomes more lucrative. It can become a six-figure job that you would never really be able to land on a local level. And then all of a sudden you get some influence, and then all of a sudden you get speaker fees and all this stuff, and it's all based on you staying in office. And then the focus is not on the taxpayer anymore. It's not on the voter anymore. I don't really have a solution outside of term limits that would draw the focus back in on the American people, which is why we did what we did at 12:25 on the show, which is to take calls that are about you. A lot of I don't know what the promos say on Fox News for the debate tonight, but, get to know the candidates. How about they get to know the American people? Because there sure seems to be a detachment in what they think they're going to go there and do and how it impacts us. So mentally detached from reality that they printed up signs, big, huge blue signs with big white block lettering on them that say Bidenomics. And then they put that up behind Joe Biden. They're like, it's a good thing. Are you sure? I don't know. Makes me think that maybe you don't understand what Bidenomics feels like on this end of the policymaking position.
Yeah, with a lot of that stuff, especially term limits, the argument against them is that if you do term people out, then, as Tucker puts it, permanent Washington really gains a lot of power, because then the people who can't be termed out, all the deep state and all that, they just gain more power because they know, well, they'll just wait these people out. However, there's one argument for term limits that I just can't get over, and his name is Michael Madigan from Illinois Speaker of the House for, 45 years or something. If he had termed out, things might have turned out differently in Illinois. I don't know if they would have for sure.
I don't think Mike Madigan is the sole. I mean, the Democrats who had the majority for a lot of the time did his bidding, but I don't know that if he would have been gone, that somebody else wouldn't have come in and been as corrupt as he would. I mean, and I don't think that he would. I think he would have still been if he goes to prison, which he could be because he's under he's under indictment, as I understand it. He probably knows people in there. He probably partly responsible. I mean, I don't know. Mike Madigan lorded himself over the state of Illinois, though. I just wonder, like, if it wouldn't have been for Mike Madigan, would we be in a better position? I just think we would have another Yahoo in there who would do the same thing.
Which we do right now. But I also think that guy was uniquely corrupt in that he had been there for so long and people knew he wasn't going anywhere, that it just and maybe that's the difference that we're talking about is state politicians versus national federal politicians being different things. I mean, they're the same animal, but different levels maybe require different rules.
Well, that's kind of the beauty of our governmental system, where the states are the laboratories of democracy, for lack of a better term. Missouri has those term limits. And you watch people in Missouri, and they bounce around from office to office to whatever, just to stay. So I don't know if the problem is term limits as it is much the human condition. You get a taste of power and you like it, and you don't want to let it go. And it doesn't to anybody, and it may not even be like a malicious like of that power. It's like, I really think I'm the best person that can do this job. The other side of that question is what if you have a politician in office for as long as Michael Madigan was in office who is like the 180-degree opposite of that? You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater either. I mean,
you do if you're a Democrat.
Fair enough. But the problem isn't that the reason that corrupt politicians are staying in office is because people won't vote them out. Every politician has a referendum on them, depending on what office they're serving in, to be removed from office every time their term comes up. But we've gotten so stuck in our red versus blue, I'm on this team, I'm on that team, and it doesn't matter how bad my guy is. We're seeing that right now. It doesn't matter how bad Joe Biden is. It doesn't matter that he's fallen asleep at things, that he's not providing aid for Americans in Hawaii. That doesn't matter. What matters is he might be really bad, but at least he's not the other guy. And that attitude, that mindset is why we are where we are. And that's really a maturing thing for voters, not necessarily something that we can solve by putting in term limits or anything like that, because you're going to run into the same problems with the bureaucracy or whatever else it is.
I don't think that we're in a position right now in this political battle that we're in. It is a battle. We're not in a position. People used to, when we'd get to this debate, when you get an opportunity to change your government, people would say, they want to see people who are willing to work across the aisle and to see some bipartisan achievements. Those can't exist. The parties are way too far apart. When you have a Joe Manchin who is still just dabbling in any assertion that he might just go completely wreck the Democrats' parade, it'd be fun to watch. If he were to run third party, run no labels or whatever it might be, it is not possible right now for these two main parties, the Republican Party and what they stand for, and the Democrat Party and what they stand for, to meet in the middle. The only way to get this country back is for common sense to reign supreme in the things that are so obvious to Americans that need to be fixed, like making sure that the southern border is secure. Duh, obviously. The idea that we aren't going to push gender ideology and prioritize that to kindergartners in the classroom. Duh, obviously. These are obvious things. These things don't have political parties, but right now they do because the left is so far gone on what they're prioritizing. And you can look at what they're prioritizing and quickly tie it to how they line their wallets. The common, average, middle-class American individual is supposed to look at red party, blue party, and know where they are. But if you didn't put those policy positions in columns and you just sat down and had a real conversation with a real human being about the things that really matter between the two of you, the majority of average Americans don't like the direction this country is going. They believe that they should be able to provide an existence for their family by working hard, and that should be enough, that they shouldn't have to slave away, that they shouldn't have to go to the grocery store and put some things back on the shelf because they can't afford what they used to be able to afford. And they're supposed to be happy about their pay because pay's gone up a little bit, but just not as much as what it costs to live in America today. If we get to the point where we decide, no, we really need to fix this country, right now the only solution is to vote Republican. It's just true. And I don't even like to say that because I have Democrat friends who listen to the show who are going to say, come on, Annie. And I'm going to say it's just the facts of the matter. The Democrats who are in charge, the Democrats who have been selected by Democrat voters, cannot handle the responsibility of what it means to be American. I think that the Democrat Party is made up of a lot more Democrats who don't love the way the Democrat Party is going. They're not ready to shed that label and say, I'm a Republican, but they do want to see their party shape up. That will never happen unless alternative solutions to the problems that the Democrats are trying to solve get a chance. And that has to happen in 2024. There's so much at stake. Let's get your thoughts on it when we return. Read some of your comments on the Annie Frey YouTube live broadcast right now. I'm curious what you think about this debate taking place tonight. You can go to the Annie Frey YouTube right now. Set the reminder for the debate. It's going to go live at about 7:45 tonight. It's flexible. We don't have to adhere to radio strict times and schedules, but we're going to be there at 7:45 to watch the debate live with you. So set your reminder at the Annie Frey YouTube channel to join us. And go vote in today's live broadcast. Will the GOP debate impact the 2024 election? Yes, no, or you're not watching? We want to know what you think. We'll be back in a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
The Retirement Advisory Group wants to help get you over that bridge, shifting from working to sunny retirement. You call 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. You can figure out how to sit down with them on a time that is mutually works for you and for Thomas Helbig or Bob Kershaw and Tammy Kershaw to talk about where you are in retirement. What are your dreams? What are your expectations? What have you saved so far? And how do you make sure that it is protected so that when you shift into retirement, you are going to be comfortable, worry-free, exhale. Retirement Advisory Group has been helping people exactly like you get to this place where when you think about retirement, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be anxiety-ridden, get that pit in your stomach that makes you go, gosh, I just hope we've done what we need to do. Or you see bad economic news and you don't panic because the economy's taken a turn that day. you know you got yourself covered, and the Retirement Advisory Group will help you get there. Reach out to them and schedule a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review at 314-993-9494 or online right now at retirementkey.com.
This is Matt Spiegel of 670 The Score in Chicago, and my podcast, The PBP, Voices of Baseball, is all about the art and craft of play-by-play. Catch up on episodes with Joe Davis, Joe Buck, and many more. Then something crazy happened along the way. I did a weekend of Cubs-Cardinals on the radio, so now conversations are enriched with feedback and advice from Jason Benetti, Boog Shambi, and others to come. The PBP, Voices of Baseball. I bring you the people who bring you the game. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, boss. What's got you so down today?
We just lost another customer to Diamonds Direct. Guy's been with us for years. Went over there and, well, now he's in love with those people. I don't know what they do.
Want me to go secret shop Diamonds Direct again, sir?
Remind me what we learned the last time you did that.
Well, you know, they're really good, sir. They got like 10 times the selection we have. They have those top designers that we're not allowed to carry. They're telling people the inside secrets on how to buy diamonds. They give free service on stuff like cleaning and sizing, the things you charge extra for. And they're nice people. Everybody's smiling over there.
Okay, stop. I know. It's impossible to compete with Diamonds Direct. I mean, even my accountant just upgraded his wife's engagement ring there and got her a 3-carat.
Wait a minute. I thought your brother was your accountant.
He is.
Are you getting all you deserve from your jeweler? You might be surprised. Maybe it's time to get the value, the selection, the quality, the education, and the service you deserve at Diamonds Direct. Get details, showroom hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Rick Springfield's I Want My 80s Tour. Starring Rick Springfield, The Hooters, Paul Young, and Tommy Tuccio. This Tuesday night at St. Louis Music Park. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. I Want My 80s Tour. Brought to you by Beach Bar Rum.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Odyssey.com is a universe of audio, and it's where you can download the app to stream 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere.
Where St. Louis comes to talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
You came along and moved me, honey. I changed my mind. This love is fine. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Kiss me, baby. Ooh, it feels good. Hold me, baby. I want to love you like a lover should. You're fine, so kind. I want to tell the world that you're mine, 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 mine.
For the primary purposes, it'd be political malpractice for Donald Trump to show up. He has a 50 point lead over his opponents. There's nothing to be gained for Donald Trump showing up in a primary. The problem he'll have, though, is what you really want as Republicans is to get almost 82-year-old Joe Biden on the stage next year. And if the precedent is set that Donald Trump didn't debate, so why should I? We'll say Joe Biden next fall. Then Donald Trump's got an inconsistency problem to deal with if he's the nominee. If it was good enough for him to skip, well, it could be good enough for Biden. And as somebody who wants America to be exposed to what an 82-year-old bumbler looks like, Nothing's more important than getting Joe Biden on that stage and not giving him an excuse.
Does Donald Trump sitting out the debate tonight, does it equate a realistic excuse for anybody else to sit out in the future? That's the argument that some people are making. And look, every time anybody makes a political calculation in a campaign, there are risks one way or the other. If he shows up, there are risks. If he doesn't go, there are risks. He's the one who gets to calculate those, and he's got to make the best of his decision. And, if it turns out that somebody on that stage, Tim Scott, has an amazing night tonight, and he thrusts into second place, and all of the money that has been sent on destroying Ron DeSantis from the Trump campaign is now money that is down the drain because DeSantis is now fading to black, and these other candidates are now starting to step up and make a real name for themselves. None of that would have happened if Donald Trump would be on the stage the way it will happen tonight with Donald Trump off the stage. I really think it's been under-discussed, but I think that Donald Trump is not doing the debate in the most part because he cannot properly defend himself against the things that are out there right now because everything he says can and will be used against him in court.
It's a good point.
That's a real good point.
Yeah, although I just don't know. I mean, maybe his legal team is telling him, yeah, it would be better if you didn't talk about it, but I just don't know that actually would have.
Donald Trump wanted
him
to, right after he was indicted, hold a press conference where he talked about the entirety of why the Georgia election was stolen from him.
Yeah.
And everybody's going, what? I mean, even if you're completely and totally innocent of everything that you've been accused of, no lawyer ever is like, go say everything you know and think. Ever. It is, in fact, the opposite. Go on a vacation as far as you're legally allowed to travel. Go, enjoy yourself, relax, lay low, stay quiet. And the lawyers won that battle with Donald Trump and said, you're not going to have that press conference. Because even if he says things, and even if whatever he were to present, and I would have been curious to cover it, I thought that would have been interesting to see what Donald Trump had to show the American people in his defense. You don't make your defense in public at a press conference when you actually are on a ticking clock about having to make your defense in court. You just don't do that. If Donald Trump is not allowed to say things to defend himself against attacks from somebody else on the stage, if he knows that he can't say it, he will look weak. And he might be making a really smart legal decision in that moment on the stage, not saying what he knows to be true. I mean, think about this. Think about the things that on that stage Donald Trump would know that not even former Vice President Mike Pence knows. Think about all of the things that Donald Trump knows about talking with other world leaders. Think about all of the information that Donald Trump has consumed and has in his brain that he just can't talk about. Because he's been there before. When you compound what he knows with the attack that he's under, the criticisms of him not being on the debate stage, I think should be tempered more because I don't want him to do or say something in battle with Ron DeSantis or Bergman. What's his name? Bergman. Exactly.
Burgundy.
If he's up there or good grief, Chris Christie, do you think that Chris Christie wouldn't utilize that opportunity to try to put baby in a corner, to try to go to Donald Trump and push on him, knowing exactly legally, because Chris Christie is a pretty smart lawyer, knowing exactly what Donald Trump would and would not be able to talk about? Chris Christie would be able to lob bombs over at Donald Trump, knowing that he would do one of two things: defend himself in public and incriminate himself in court, or not defend himself.
He still will. We'll see him do that tonight, even without Trump there.
No, the point is, that's not the point. The Chris Christie part is not the point. The Donald Trump part is the point.
Right. Even if Christie hurls those bombs, with Donald Trump not being there, that's like he would have defended himself. You could assume that. He doesn't look weak not being there in that instance. I think you're making a really good point here, and it's one that I hadn't even thought about until you mentioned it. Yeah, you don't want your client, if you're a defense attorney, you don't want your client up there saying stuff that just giving ammunition to the prosecution. You just don't want him to do that. And so it makes a lot of sense for him not to be there. the criticisms of him not being there, maybe we do need to tamp it down. But the criticism of him not being there, like Ari Fleischer was saying in that clip, I think it does give Biden a little more cover if he were to be the nominee, which I still don't think he will be. But if he were to be the nominee, it gives him cover not to show up. But that doesn't mean that if Donald Trump is the nominee, there's no way Joe Biden was showing up, whether or not Donald Trump went to this debate or not.
Donald Trump not showing up because he's under 4 indictments in different jurisdictions and his lawyers need him to be quiet is a lot different than we weren't sure if it would fit into Joe Biden's sleep schedule.
Yeah.
Joe Biden doesn't have a good excuse to not show up.
No, and everybody will know that, so I'm confident going into the general that he'll have to show up for something. He may only do one debate, and he may do it late like Fetterman did. But I really hate that we even have to have this discussion because that means Democrats have won on this issue. They have stopped.
They've only won if you don't figure out a way to play on that field.
Not with Biden so much, but they've stopped their main political opponent from campaigning in a sense. And that
You're
means
talking specifically to Trump, not
to
just
Trump
like
with the indictments.
the way. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And they have. I mean, if that is the reason he's not doing it tonight, we don't know for sure, but it could be a reason. And if that is a reason, they have successfully stopped a political opponent from campaigning because they do not believe in free speech. They don't. We've seen it across every platform in tech. We've seen it now with indictments. The whole point is to shut him up.
I am interested to see the Tucker interview. I'm going to watch that tonight as well. I'm interested to see what issues are discussed because Tucker always does interviews differently than everybody else does. I heard somebody suggest that maybe Fox, instead of using their 2 newsers, should use, since it's a Republican primary and not a bipartisan primary, that the suggestion was maybe even that Sean Hannity might be involved. And I'm like, all Sean Hannity would do is talk to himself.
He just do a show.
When he has people on, the experts sit there and listen to him do a segment, and then he asks if he was right.
This is good radio criticism right here.
I'm talking about the TV.
I know, but I mean, it's like professional criticism.
Well, I mean, I don't have Jim Carafano on here to affirm my thoughts and opinions on foreign policy. My questions to Jim Carafano are questions that I want to know the answers to, but don't have the expertise to understand it. Especially my favorite questions to ask somebody like Carafano. Tomorrow we'll have Hans von Spakovsky on, apparently Donald Trump. Since he's taken the night off, he's going to go surrender to Georgia tomorrow. More news, which is going to be quite an interesting. I don't know if he planned it this way, but boy, he's going to suck the oxygen out of the post-debate conversation by going to get booked. You have an expert on that knows the law or knows the Constitution or knows the foreign policy of our country or the better foreign policy of our country. And many of these people who will interview them, they have all their thoughts and opinions on how it should go. And I'm not going to say that I've never done this, but let them talk. Let them tell you what we don't know. Like, let's learn together. I'm definitely not the smartest person in the room most of the time, especially today.
Well, if it's this crew, it's common. That's a everyday thing.
I've learned to live with it.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
There are stages of grief. Learning to live with it is probably
I wouldn't
one.
say it's grief. More apathy.
I would say acknowledging that you're not smart or not the smartest person in the room is probably a tough thing to do.
Would you
for
put
anybody.
me, what, 2 or 3?
Ryan, are you speaking from experience here?
No, not at all. Grief, yes, but not about intelligence.
No experience in it being
Andy,
intelligent?
I would have put you at 3, but after Brad just said that, I'll put you at 2.
Oh, sassy. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, the results, your thoughts on today's YouTube live chat poll. We're covering the debate live tonight. You need to be listening to 97.1 if you want to hear what the candidates have to say. airing it, broadcasting it live on 97.1 starting at 8 p.m. tonight. And on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, live reaction along with you watching it in your home right there on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Shopping at Ruler Foods is where you go to save money. Prices on everything. It's going through the roof. It gets harder and harder to go to the grocery store. Ruler Foods is there to help you with that. I don't care who you are. If you are comfortable spending more on the same exact groceries that you could be buying at Ruler Foods, then be on with your bad self. That's you. I get it. Fine. Maybe it's out of convenience. But there are so many Ruler Foods in the St. Louis area on both sides of the river that when you go into Ruler Foods and you realize they have the name brands that you shop and they also have Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices, you're going to say to yourself, why would I not save the money? Kind of are in a situation in our economy right now where it's hard to make the excuse to not go to Ruler Foods. Let me tell you about some of the sales that they have going on right now. Heritage Farm boneless, skinless chicken breasts or chicken wings, $1.99 a pound. Boneless pork mixed chops, 1.5 pounds, or Heritage Farm beef patties, 27 ounces, $5. Red or white seedless grapes, $1.27 a pound. Smart Way bread, 20 ounces, or Kroger peanut butter, 16 ounces, 99 cents. We buy our food at Ruler Foods, and we feed our family of 6 at Ruler Foods, and they make it affordable to be able to put on the kitchen table the foods that we want to serve our family. You can shop there as well. Simple, smart, fresh. Find the one closest to you at rulerfoods.com.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisor Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. I have many female clients and widows that don't fully understand their investment choices. Would you like a retirement review and a second opinion on your current retirement plan? Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying, and would you like to learn how you can avoid those fees? Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees for the past 37 years. Let our family help your family. So go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands to treat ED at up to 95% off. That's right, the same active ingredient as the brand name for 95% less. It's the same ED medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Hello, everybody. I'm John Rooney. Do you have an old car that's taking up room in the driveway? Repairs are costly and selling is a hassle? That's why you should donate it to Goodwill. Donating is quick and towing is free. Plus, you get a tax receipt and 4 tickets to a Cardinals game, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a win-win. For more information or to donate, visit online at mersgoodwill.org. Must mention Cardinals.
Today's poll is about the debate tonight. We will be carrying it live right here on 97.1 starting at 8 o'clock. The poll is, will the GOP debate impact the 2024 election? What do you think? Yes, no, or you're not watching or paying attention? The Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Let us know. We'll give you the results in just a minute. It is 2:46. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
TireRack.com. The Mark Reardon Show.
Wednesday afternoon, it's a debate night preview. Josh Crosshauer, 97.1 FM Talk political insider, will join me. Also, my buddy Dan O'Donnell, who's at WISN Radio in Milwaukee.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Take my hand, finish my drink, say, shall we dance? Hell yeah. You know I love you, did I ever tell you? You make it better like that. Don't think I fit in at this party.
Are you going to fit in at the party tonight?
I don't know. You tell me. I'll be wearing this. I'll be walking around shaking hands, kissing babies.
Are they going to be babies?
I don't know. At Dave & Buster's, don't bring your babies.
What if they do?
I'll challenge them to a skee ball tournament just like I will everybody else tonight.
Are you going to play games?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you really?
I'm pretty sure I will at some point. I don't know if it'll be before, after, or during.
We won't be where the games are.
Yeah, but we'll be close enough to the games that I could make my way over to the games.
You mean like in the building?
Yeah, we'll be in the same building as the games.
It's like saying, well, we're pretty close to Camel X. How about I take this segment?
Yeah, it is like that.
Why don't you go do that? Who's on over there right now?
Okay.
Glover? Please do.
No idea.
Yes, it is.
Just walk in.
Please do.
I think the baseball game's going on. Normally I wouldn't mention that, but you know.
Yeah. When you're talking about walking down the hall to something else.
It's East Coast, so maybe they're over. We've got the big debate watch party tonight, and if you've gotten your tickets to come join us at Dave & Buster's, there are no more available. It's packed, it's sold out, which is great. Can't wait to see each of you folks out there and enjoy this evening together. It really is kind of a momentous occasion when you consider we've been talking about the election for quite some time, but this is the beginning. The official beginning where the American people as a whole are going to get introduced to political candidates who want to replace the guy who's currently in office.
It really is a shame that Trump won't be there just from a coverage and interest standpoint. I'm still interested in the debate because this is political baseball. It starts tonight. You know, you get to watch who's got what it takes, who doesn't. Does somebody rise? You know, does Asa Hutchinson all of a sudden have a chance at this thing? I mean, this kind of stuff is when you're into politics, it's kind of the fun stuff, and it's part of the horse race covering the whole election up to 2024. I do enjoy it, but I wish Trump was there.
Qualified candidates: North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, former Vice President Mike Pence, entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. Brad.
Yes.
Who will have the best night?
Ooh,
Ryan Wiggins.
At
the skee
over
ball.
at the skee ball.
I think I'm stuck between two people. I think it's either going to be Tim Scott or Vivek Ramaswamy.
What do you think?
I actually think DeSantis is going to have a good night, partially because it's almost like we haven't been hearing as much from or paying attention to him as much, and all of a sudden I think he's going to break through again.
I hope he's able to make points. I hope that the American people and Republican voters have a good night. I do believe that Donald Trump is the one who's going to still get this nomination, and I pray that he's able to win in the general. And I'm interested in watching. They have to ask the question tonight: if Donald Trump wins the primary, will you support him? They have to ask that question. They've already said in by virtue of being on the stage, the debate stage, that they'd support the party's nominee. If that's Donald Trump, then they've already said that they would. But once you're on the stage, I mean, if you know, I could see Chris Christie saying, no, I'm not going to support Donald Trump. I'd rather see Joe Manchin win than Donald Trump. And what if Donald Trump gets the nomination? I think most people think of this loyalty pledge as the real question here is Donald Trump going to support another nominee if Donald Trump doesn't win? Because everybody wants to know if he's going to run third party. Well, what about the other folks, the other yahoos that don't get win the primary? Are they going to support? Are they going to throw the full weight of their 1% of support behind the significant frontrunner in Donald Trump, or are they going to try to play spoiler? Better freaking not.
That's what's funny about the loyalty pledge is that the guy they were trying to get to sign it doesn't show up, didn't sign it, and now everybody on that stage has signed a loyalty pledge possibly to Donald Trump. It's funny.
The YouTube live chat poll is, will the GOP debate impact the 2024 election? Yes, no, or you're not watching. Hurry up and get to the Annie Frey YouTube channel before we end the poll when the show ends here in a few minutes. And vote and leave your comment. I'm going to read a couple of them. Fedora says the Babylon Bee posted a headline which says it all. Republicans gather to debate who will lose to Trump in a distant second.
It's a funny one.
Is that all this debate is? Brad, is there anything more that viewers and voters will get out of this other than who's number two?
I think that they get what the Republican platform is, what the ideas are that the candidates have. I think a lot of the candidates, we talked about this with Mark Lauder yesterday, a lot of the candidates are going to have very similar, if not the same policies as Donald Trump. This debate will have an opportunity to have those America First policies put at the front.
Terry says not watching it anyway. What benefit is there to not watching the debate? I mean, if you're a Trump supporter, Ryan, what benefit would a Trump supporter have in covering their ears and closing their eyes and looking away?
Well, I don't know that that's what he's doing. If you're going to skip the debate, it may just be that you don't really have a vested interest because you already know who you're going to vote for, and that's the reason you watch a debate in the first place. But
I don't think that is the reason I don't think that is the only reason to watch a debate.
That's what I was going to say is I actually agree with Brad that the best thing that's going to happen tonight, even if it is Trump, which it probably will be, but if it's Trump and it's none of these guys, the best thing that's going to happen tonight is that the nation will hear Republican policies and how they're better and how to fix things. And hopefully they will shine a light on how bad Joe Biden has done and say, here's what he's done. Here's what I will / we will do. And that message comes through.
That's the consensus. I want everybody who is up there to bring it back to Joe. And that's probably not going to happen. But I want everybody there who's going to bring it back to Joe Biden and say, this is a disaster. This is a disaster. Another one, another one, another one, over and over and over, so that there is a common opponent that is drawn into the conversation for the American people to go, you're right. You know, when this happened, that did cause me an issue. And when this policy was put in place, it didn't make it better like they said it was going to. Hunter said, poll, I am hopeful that one of the candidates, maybe the Ron, the Vivek, or the Nikki, will be able to create some buzz and carry that forward to bump DT out of the lead. I do think that we might see a coalescing around fewer candidates. But I don't know that we're in a position right now where it's going to get narrowed down to that. Trump's lead is so huge. G-Wib says, I wish it could be a debate and not an argument fest. Don't shoot inside the tent. I kind of don't. I feel like in some ways that'll seem boring to people. I'm hopeful that maybe it won't be a shouting fest. The absence of Donald Trump, which again, we have not seen since 2012. Something like this. Donald Trump has changed the way we understand politics. It didn't used to be like that. Ed said, I won't vote for Trump, nominated or not. Luckily, we live in a solid red state, so I can vote for some third-party knucklehead without worrying. You can't do that in every state, though, and there are several states where it's going to specifically matter. RSG said this debate will impact the election because Trump is not there. I already know what Trump will say, so I'm looking forward to the others' points of view. I think Nikki Haley will have a big night. Well, when we start broadcasting tonight on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, about 15 minutes before the actual debate begins, we are going to be featuring your comments. We are going to be interacting with you, whether you were at the debate watch party or whether you were there at Dave & Buster's with us. Let's get to the results of today's YouTube live chat poll. Will the GOP debate impact the 2024 election? 14% say not watching, 40% say no, and 46% say yes. We do not have a majority of people who think that the GOP debate tonight will, in fact, impact the 24 election. It's probably a strong Trump contingent, both in the no and in the not watching, which would put that at 54%.
Yeah, that's interesting.
All right, we'll see you tonight at Dave & Buster's, and get on the Annie Frey YouTube channel right now and set your reminder to join us, be a part of the conversation on Annie Frey's YouTube channel when we go live tonight at 7:45. See you there.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ThrottleNet. So I'm so very proud to have represented the guys at ThrottleNet for all of these years. They are the IT geniuses. George and Mike are the